I am not a scientist, nor am I a doctor, but thankfully, I don't need to be the most intelligent person. I don't need a college degree to show me and tell me when the devil's hand is on something. And that's the amazing part about being a Christian, is that you are made aware of the wickedness and the demonic forces that are in this world.
The demonic forces in the face cream, the face what? Okay, I don't even know. Okay, I don't even know. That's it. So we're gonna take a look at whatever the hell she's talking about. This is crazy kid again. Boy, is she funny. All right. I am Brentley, and this is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. All right. So like I said, it's this conspiracy lady. I don't know. She believes everything, has like zero critical thinking skills. And she's like, that's what's great about being a Christian, is I can just make shit up all the time and just decide that the devil's in the face cream too. Like, why not? Just forget it. Anyway, so that's this. I don't know her name. I can't remember. I don't care.
Only 2 years ago that I was influenced to buy this product. I would argue is probably the most famous and well-known facial cleansers out there, which is the CeraVe foaming facial cleanser.
CeraVe, okay, Vey, right? Is it CeraVe? Kevin, what do you think? He doesn't know. He's like, I don't use face cream.
Basically, everyone I know uses this cleanser. So naturally, I was influenced to buy it, and I became a user of this product. That wasn't until just a few short weeks after I purchased it, I came across another video that came up on my TikTok feed of a
get rid of the TikTok. TikTok is breaking your brain, lady. That's what I feel like we all figured it out now. She's in the corner of the TikToks that is the makes people stupid corner. I don't know.
girl exposing what was in this product. And it was in that moment that I realized I had been so naive and so blind to the products I was rubbing all over my skin, the products I was putting in my
I think no, you've become naive.
bath, the products I was rubbing all over my face and in my hair, on my scalp. I don't know why I had no awareness to the pores that were on my body and how I was just taking in all.
They're really small, it's not like you see a bunch of holes in your face every time you look at it. I'm actually quite thankful that I am typically unaware of the pore. I feel like that'd be very off-putting, just thinking about the holes in your face all over now. Yeah, that's
all of these chemicals, what were in these products that I was using. Now, I am not a scientist, nor am I a doctor, but thankfully, I don't need to be the most intelligent person. I don't
yep. No, I got for all your thinking, period.
Need a college degree to show me and tell me when the devil's hand is on something. And
now you kind of need the opposite of whatever a degree is to think that the devil's putting demons in your face cream.
That's the amazing part about being a Christian, is that you are made aware of the wickedness and the demonic forces that are
that's her becoming aware of the demon
in this world. And if you don't already see that with the cosmetic industry,
no, I don't, and hopefully nobody does, because this is insane.
I can almost promise you by the end of this video, you're going to see that this is nothing short of demonic. Today,
okay, well, we'll see.
Hey, I want to bring your focus to the ingredients in some of the products that you or someone you know is using.
This one's called Satan. What is she? What? How is it going to be demonic? That's what I would, unhealthy, maybe. I don't know. That sure. Cosmetic products or whatever not being healthy. Okay, but like demonic. That's the claim that I'd really like to pin down here.
We're going to expose just how evil the cosmetic industry really is. Let's dive in. One of the devil's biggest lies.
I mean, because and it's funny too, because like, if you hear somebody say the cosmetic industry is evil, my mind automatically goes, oh, you're vegan. And they're right in that regard. You know what I mean? So I don't give them too hard of time, because like being shitty to little tiny woodland creatures is just rude. It's just rude. It's evil. Don't hurt cute little animals. Come on now. There's got to be a better way. You know, put the stuff on Republicans or something. Test it with Republicans' faces. That's what we should do.
Is that he has convinced so many people with
Against their will, too. That would be great.
in 2025 is that the sun is your enemy, when in reality, the sun is your doctor in the sky. In fact,
You Superman? Like, what the fuck? What?
the sun used to be used to treat a number of different illnesses. Hospitals in the early 1900s had beds on
Yeah, they used to bleed people out too, man. And be like, we gotta get this liquid crap out of the body there. That's clearly what's making them sick. There's too much blood in there. That's what that is. Let's cut this sucker open and get some of that stuff out of there. Yeah, that'll fix up.
the roof for patients. Yes, of course, too much of anything
Okay, good. No, it's like, but you can get sunburned if you're white. Okay, if you're white, the sun is trying to kill you.
is bad for you. But most people, due to the fear mongering by the sunscreen industry, are not getting enough sun, which could actually be the reason why you're depressed, why you're tired, why you have a low mood. Lack of vitamin D can lead to bone or joint pain and frequently being sick. The sun is your doctor and it's free, but that's
Oh my God, she reminds me. I swear, I wonder if she's like those people that like spread their butt to the sun. I think they got something going on there. I think they're onto something, right? It's, the sun heals your butt. Okay.
problem. There is no money to be made. But if the cosmetic
And if
industry
you want to spread your butt, like what she just said, go to adamandeve.com and enter that code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley. Get your butt some sun. Sorry, stuff, not sun. She threw me off with the thing that she's talking about. Anyway,
can convince you that the sun is extremely dangerous. You'll be running
it literally gives people cancer. I mean, it's just a fact that it gives people cancer. This is not contested by anybody. Like, I don't know. It might be that it's the sunscreen that's causing cancer. God, she's probably going to say that. Never mind. You know, that's actually where she's going, isn't it?
to screen yourself from the sun with sunscreen. Which again, guys, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, especially if you know you're going to be in the sun for longer than an hour. But
You kind of are saying it's a bad thing. You're saying that you can't, don't put sunscreen on because it's a lie from the sunscreen industry that we don't need too much sun all the time.
guess what? God already had an answer for that. And that's what zinc is for. Zinc is a natural element that God created that works immediately after you apply it. And this has been a known thing, yet for some reason, 99% of the sunscreens that are marketed to us contain a lot more than zinc oxide, a common ingredient you will find
Wait, you're saying just put zinc in your sunscreen and you're good to go. What's the SPF of that? How does that even work?
in most sunscreens is BHT. Yet BHT does nothing to stop UV light from reaching your skin. It's simply to be able to keep the product on the shelf for an extensive amount of time. Essentially,
Yeah. Those are in just about everything. They're called preservatives. I know.
in order to keep the shelf life longer for these products and make more money, they're willing to add BHT into these products, even though the cosmetic industry is well aware that BHT affects thyroid function. It may also have effects on the sex hormones in your body and may affect fertility. And on top of all that,
It may affect fertility.
it can affect the development of a baby growing in a mother's womb, which, as you guys know, I'm
Isn't that what fertility is?
6 months pregnant. Had I not known that this was in sunscreens, I'd be grabbing one of these products and lathering it onto my skin, having no idea that I'm not protecting my baby. I am harming the baby in my womb. The ECHA has also reported toxicity to the liver, kidneys, lungs, and blood in rats. Another popular ingredient that you will find in
In rats? Is that what it's just? Okay. Has it been reported in humans? That would probably be what we would need to see here.
Most sunscreens is this ingredient called octocrylene. Octocrylene is used in sunscreen as a UV filter due to its ability to absorb harmful ultraviolet rays that can damage the skin. Sounds great, but a study was done by the SCCS in 2021 that shows that octocrylene may induce adverse effects on reproduction and organ development. I'm sorry, but
what the hell is your upset? Okay. I'm curious, like where are we getting this from? Like what's the study that shows this?
you are just not going to sit here and convince me that this is not demonic, that the devil's hand is not on sunscreen on this.
Why? Like the chemicals can just be harmful. Why does there have to be a devil? That's the part that is like, it's like, okay, even if I grant her the whatever, the granola crunch is bullshit, that all the cosmetic is bad because of whatever. Even if I grant her that, she's saying it is demonic, that there's demons, that the devil is at work through the fucking sunscreen. Like, what the hell, man?
Sunscreen industry. It's pretty obvious that he is clearly after babies in the womb. So many girls that plan to be mothers one day, mothers that are lathering these products onto their skin, thinking they are
you mean slathering? Lather is what you get when you you want to build up a lather, right? Like that's a soap thing, right? Slather is like what you do with bread when you got a lot of butter. You slather it.
Are protecting the baby growing inside of them, yet are sadly doing the complete opposite. This is the devil's hand.
Where are all the people that are like, oh, my kid's deformed? They're like, oh, why is your kid deformed? They're like, man, I put some sunscreen on. I know. What was I even doing? I'm a bad parent because I put sunscreen on. What the fuck? Come on, dude.
And it's the fact that so many people have no idea about it. They are completely unaware. I have popped up the very few sunscreens that are more focused on zinc oxide more than anything and do not contain harmful and unnecessary ingredients like BHT and octo.
You know that God created, according to you anyway, God created stuff that's harmful. Like, just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good. They have like this weird, it's the appeal to nature, but it's like, oh man, if humans put this thing and this thing together and it makes chemical, that's bad. But if it's natural and grows out of the ground, slather that shit all over you because it couldn't possibly be like bad at all. It's like, there's no such thing as natural poisons or poison oak or poison ivy or poison milk. Just name it. Just all the stuff. Not to mention plants that can just be bad for you. It doesn't even, just because it grows in the ground doesn't mean anything, dude. There's natural poisons and there are man-made products that are unparalleled by anything in the natural world as far as like helpful to our health goes.
Crylene. Aside from sunscreen, I make sure to get 30 minutes of direct sunlight every single day with no sunscreen on, making sure that I'm not blocking the nutrients that are essential for my health that come from the sun, which
this lady is you're going to be in an MLM before you fucking know it, lady. Holy shit. Like she just falls for everything. It's just like, you could just say anything to this girl. She's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Reptilian humanoids. I know. Like, did you see that glitch where George Bush's eyes like got skit? Yeah, they're in the government. I know. I hear they're Jewish. Yeah. There's this guy, David Icke, and he said anyway.
Again, is free. But always, guys, moderation is a huge thing across the board with everything. Too much of anything is bad. But the fact is that 99% of the sunscreens marketed to you are not your friend, and they are not of God. All right, let's move on.
They are not of God. Face creams. These face creams are not of God. I only buy face creams that are of God. I only to get the ones that are made out of holy water. It's like, Jesus Christ, how stupid. What the hell is happening? How's everybody doing? Y'all feeling all right? Doing good? You're looking great, for a Monday. Usually everybody's just zombies, just at the end of a Monday, just barely walking, because it's the first day back from the weekend. All right, Gisela won. Hey, how's it going, Gisela? You doing all right? Let's see. And Maya a second. Hey, Maya, how we doing? Stopwatch, blue hand timer. Oh, that's like a thing? That's like an emoji or something? Hold on. Let me see if I can see it on this one. Yep. It's a hand holding a stopwatch. Got it. Okay. Yeah. I can't see it here. Well, clearly, y'all can. You can see that we can't see. Never mind. You know what? Forget it. And Kyle is third. Hey, Kyle, how you doing? What's up? I guess Pandora's Pinata's giving other people a chance finally. Thank you, Pandora's Pinata. It's very nice of you. Who else we got here? We got John. How we doing, John? What's up? We got Anarchic Fox. What's going on, dude? Hell yeah. Just seen you in the chat the other day when we were I don't know, watching. Oh, I think on Jimmy Snow's show, right? They're doing everybody's doing those skinny. They're all doing those skinny live streams now, where it's like vertical or whatever. Do I have to start? Am I expected to do this now? Is that a thing? Anyway. Then we've got, did I say John? Yeah, we got John. But we also got Raymer. How we doing, Raymer? Doing all right? Stop smoking the meth, sweetie. I'm calling her sweetie. That's rude. Okay. It really is. Don't do that. It comes off really 1950s Mad Men. You know what I mean? Anyway, what's up, Phil? How you doing, Phil? That's Phil. Or Bert, depending upon, what mood I'm in that day. Anyway, who else we got here? Let's see. Got Andrew. What's up, Andrew? Doing all right? Said, but. They are so yum. What? The sunscreen? Are you eating the sunscreen? What are you, me? Like, no, it's okay. It's not bad. It's got like a metallic taste. I don't know. It's weird. Tastes like a stroke. I think, probably. I've never actually had one. But, Kipp, how you doing? Kipp Davis, what's going on, man? Apparently, the notorious troll, Dr. Joshua Bowen, was lurking in the chat of your last stream. Yep. It's funny, too, because I was wondering, I'm like, is putting his name, because people have been finding my streams, and I don't tag people. I don't do that. But I do put their names and stuff. And I wonder, is there some kind of fucking alert thing where you can like be alerted if somebody puts your name anywhere, just anywhere at all? It's like the AI picks up on it or something. Anyway, and his name was in the poll. And so I think maybe that's what it was. He's like, oh, somebody's talking about. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. Well, love Joshua Bone. He's great. All right. Who else we got? Oh, Rainbow Ash. How we doing? What's up? And JT. Hey, JT. Said, ahoy, folks. Always wear sunscreen and never look directly at the sun. It's a star, for goodness sake. That's right. We all know you don't look at stars because they hurt your eyeballs. That's right. L-Bound Hillbilly, how we doing, man? Prevents skin cancer and affects my sex hormones. Sign me up. Yeah. That's what she said, anyway. Not in like a joke way. I mean, she actually did say, it came out weird. Break your illusion. How you doing, man? Or friend? I don't know your gender. Which, we're gonna need pronouns because I don't know. I have so many demons in my butt. So many demons in my butt. Maybe that Christian lady can suck them out for me. Wow, there's an image. That's great. No, I think I figured out the jet. Never mind about the pronouns. I got it. Yeah, we got it. It's that's a dude for sure. Anyway, here we go. All right, back to the fun.
To facial cleansers, but let's hone in on the one that I would argue is the most popular facial cleanser that women and men are using today. It's known as the best cleanser on the market, and that is CeraVe. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I was personally influenced to purchase this product.
It's that really funny commercial with Michael Cera because it's called CeraVe. And It was, I don't know. I like Michael Cera. He's fun.
And I'm not going to lie, I absolutely loved it. But again, I'm so thankful that just a few weeks later, the Lord exposed to me the poison that I was putting in
The Lord exposed to me the poison.
my body when using this cleanser. CeraVe contains a
How did the Lord do that? Through TikTok. That's right. Yeah, she was on TikTok. She's like, wait, what? Somebody pointed to something behind them that totes said it's poison.
paraben called propylparaben. Propylparaben has effects on hormones and sperm activity. The substance may also have effects on, you guessed it, fertility.
And if you want something to have some effect on your sperm activity, you know, for the guys, for the fellas out there, or for the people with penises, we'll put it that way. Go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley, and check out to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley. I feel like it made sense, kind of, you know, she was talking about sperm and stuff.
And the development of an unborn child in the womb. And this ingredient isn't just in the CeraVe.
Yes. Hold on. Kipp Davis. Dr. Josh 100% lost that poll, right? Yep. Well, not by 100%, but but it was it's like a 4 to 6 points lead that you had there. So which is pretty good. It's pretty good.
The facial cleanser, it's in so many cleansers across the board. Please just ask yourself what these ingredients are doing in these products that are particularly marketed and geared toward women. I am 6 months pregnant. Don't you think that there should be a warning on the back of these products that include this ingredient that say, warning, if pregnant, may cause harm to your baby? Would be kind of important to include that, but they don't. Why? Propylparaben can also
Jesus Christ, like it's so whack. Like you just get whacked out about like everything once, especially somebody like her that's like people had kids back when like there was fucking lead in the paint and shit, right? Like, the kids were fine, they were fine. They trust me, they were fine. The adults, on the other hand, not fine. Not fine. That was probably the lead in the paint and stuff. But no, it's like, what about back then? I never understand with a lot of this stuff. They're like, oh man, you got to be like so crazy careful about every single little thing. And it's like, people didn't used to not give a shit, and people were still born, and it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't whatever. You know what I mean?
Found in one of the most popular body lotions, which is Cocoa Radiant by Vaseline. And again, so many more. Something else that was actually exposed for being
so many more. That's right.
In all of our favorite non-stick Teflon pans are PFAs, which are forever chemicals. Excellent movie on that called Dark Waters. You should watch it, and it will teach you all about
like the pirates, the pirates of the dark waters. Where's that movie? Okay. Or the Pirates of the Caribbean tie-in with Pirates of Dark Water. I think we need to see this.
PFAs, and an even more in-depth look into how demonic so many products marketed to.
That's like only for people like born in the 80s, I think. I feel like that's probably Dr. Kipp Davis probably isn't even going to get that reference. I don't know.
Us are.
That the C8 they put into the air and buried into the ground for decades was causing cancers. They knew that their own workers were getting these cancers. They knew that the consumers too were being exposed, and not just in Teflon.
What's up, 20? Go to 10. How you doing?
In paints, in fabrics, in raincoats, boots.
They're in a lot of products that so many people are completely unaware of. And guess what they do? They are likely to disrupt our endocrine system, impact fertility,
and how does she say it? Hold on.
They're in a lot.
Wait, first of all, what the fuck's going on with your outlet, lady? Okay, that's if you're gonna bring a baby into this world, you know what? You need to get that covered up immediately. All right, you're talking about having a baby, and here you got a fucking exposed outlet on your wall. What are you doing? Oh God, what the fuck?
lot of products that so many people are completely unaware of.
And somebody like her needs to turn the power off to the entire house before she puts. I know you don't have to, like a normal person, you don't have to, but just picturing her like trying to. No, she's getting shocked no matter what.
And guess what they do? They are likely to disrupt our endocrine system, impact
our endocrine system,
fertility, and interfere
I guarantee that was the first time she's ever heard that word.
with the body's natural hormones.
And she didn't even hear it. She just read it.
Also an increase in kidney and testicular cancer. Yeah, I'm sorry. What is this doing in our products, and why don't so many people know? Why is this not made aware to us? Why is this almost like hidden? Obviously, so many of us, we're not scientists. We're not looking at the back of our
no shit. Yeah, no, you're whatever the opposite of a scientist is.
Shampoo and our conditioner and our shaving cream and know what octinoxate is. We're not going to know what that is, so we're easily
Google it.
just going to be like, we trust them. They know what they're doing. And I just love how this product.
We have a FDA. This is why you don't like defund and vilify shit like the FDA, because this is like what you're talking about. And it's so sad because like the side of like the political spectrum and everything that she's on is anti-FDA, anti the thing that, you know, gets paid like subsidies from the government so that it can make sure that, yeah, like stuff in the like things like formula as far as I understand was like one of the first things that made it that you know hurt people. And that's why we have the FDA, you know, and so, but, you know, someone like her is like against the FDA. So it's just so ironic. It's like, you know, she's just like, oh man, this stuff's poison. How do you know that? Because you saw a fucking TikTok? Jesus.
Makes me look. This is the reality. And sadly, so many people are made aware of what is in these products, but they still choose to buy them. They still choose to use them. Another huge market targeted specifically at women is the self-tanner.
Hellbound. I said, Indo? No, thanks. I'd rather have a sativa. Yeah, you don't want to be in that couch, if you know what I'm saying.
Market. A product I've been using since I think I was 19 years old, trying to enhance my tan. Little did I know that using this product could have made it difficult for me to become a mom in the future. As far as hair products, Head and Shoulders Classic Clean, harmful to fertility. Dry Bar Dry Shampoo, harmful to fertility. Big Sexy Hairspray, harmful.
Oh, I love that stuff. It is big and sexy.
Harmful to fertility. At this point, I pray it's become overwhelmingly obvious to you that there is such a clear and evident spiritual demonic war against fertility. The devil is carrying.
You know what? Like, maybe if you're pregnant, just, you know, go get a bubble. Just go get a boy in the bubble, right? And then just stay in that, you know, because it's probably something demonic in like the oxygen. Right, that's just outside. Like, you know, stay away from that stuff. There's probably the devil's doing his work with that oxygen stuff.
Plan to steal, kill, and destroy through the cosmetic beauty industry. If you made it this far and you're like me and instantly thinking about all the products you now need to replace, I got you. I made a video. It is not sponsored whatsoever. These are products that took me a really long time to come by that are clean ingredients and are actually good products. There's also an app that has some very mixed reviews.
I wonder how she determines this whole bit, you know?
For some reason, I have been using it for years. It has exposed so much to me, which is the Yucca app. I actually have an ongoing joke with my friend that we call it the Yucca app. Once you get the Yucca app, you discover that everything is Yucca. And what's awesome about it.
Okay, that was pretty fun. That's how you remember the name of that stuff. You're like, what was it called? Hold on, I'm gonna come up with something so I can remember this. Okay, the Yucca app is. I said, you know, it makes all the products that I, you know, thought I liked yucky. So I'm gonna call it the Yucca.
Is that it shows you the research into all these ingredients and studies that have been done into the ingredients.
Yes, everything is yucca.
And so you can make your own decision. They may say that something's really bad, but you look into the ingredient and you're like, I don't think that that's that bad. I'm willing to take a risk here. But at least you're made aware. At least.
Yeah. Well, Drusilla said, if I remember correctly, someone was executed for formula flaws in China. Well, there was, it was damn. And of course, now I can't think of the name. But It was there was Behind the Bastards did a big story, a big multi-section. What do you call it? Podcast? Yeah, but on this person, and of course now I get it. But like one of the things, and this person was basically responsible for the creation of the FDA because of how many babies they harmed because of their formula. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about specifically, Gisela, because I don't know. I don't think that was in China. I thought that was here. But anyway, yeah.
As we move
Behind the Bastards, good show.
closer to the end of times, we cannot be ignorant as the body of Christ. We need
Well, you are fucked, lady.
to be good stewards over the body that we have been blessed with, over the temple that we have been blessed with. I love you guys. I pray that this was edifying. I pray that you learned something and your eyes are open to new things of where the devil is and what he has his hand on. And with that being said,
Stop worrying about the product. Start worrying about your fucking exposed outlets, lady. Okay, the fetus is going to be fine if you put cream on your face, but the baby's not if you don't put a cover over your fucking outlet here. Okay, they will stick their fingers in anything. All right, they just do. That's sort of, they're curious. They're boundary testing, which is an important part of mental development and stuff like that. Anyway. Where are we at? Stop listening to artists I refuse to listen to as a Christian. Now, there was another one I was going to watch. Oh, there's this. She's talking about these K-pop. I feel like I need to go watch the show first. Hold on. Maybe we can wait, or the movie, whatever it is. Maybe we can wait on that one so that I can catch the movie, and then I can we can watch that one. Hold on. Let me go back to the history here. See if there's anything. Oh yeah, what the hell? What's going on with Nick? Why is Nick Fuentes everywhere all of a sudden? What the hell's going on with this? Does anybody else know what's going on? Why is he? Why? I mean, why is he just at all? I don't know. But why is he in the news? And then, but this was the one that caught my eye. Nick Fuentes explains why he chooses to remain a virgin. Right. Yeah. Right. He chooses. I do this. I'm in a vol cell. I'm a vol cell. Like, so it's different than the in cell. I don't know. But I feel like we need to have, like, if I do click that, and I've only watched this much. Okay. There's going to be a pretty hefty trigger warning, and I don't know if I want to put up with all that. Hold on, let me see if there's anything else first. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay, there's this lady, right? Anna Paulina Luna, and guess where she's from? My county. That's right, Pinellas County, Florida. And she went on Joe Rogan. Now she is the politician that won this district. I don't know the name of the districts or whatever, but I don't even care. It doesn't matter. But she's fucking insane. Listen to this. This is just a tidbit
military.
of what the stupid that comes out of her face on a regular basis, and she has political power. A friend of mine was just at a school board meeting, a town hall thing, right? And she showed up and was saying that, I can't remember. I think she was like, I voted against like cutting the budgets of all this type of stuff. And someone at the meeting, at the town hall, like put the phone on like a speaker or whatever and played her voting against it and say, and be like voting for cutting the budgets and everything. She was just lying, and everybody's like, "Oh shit!" And they like booed her and stuff. It's so funny. Anyway, and that was like literally down the street from me, not far at all. But anyway, here we go. This is Anna Paulina Luna. She's an Anna Paulina Looney, is what she is.
Unit. And so There had been an airspace incursion that had taken place when I was still at the time at the Guard. And I remember kind of talking to some of the pilots about it, and I was like, what was that? And they're like, we can't really talk about it. No one really wanted to address it. And so from what I'd gathered, that had been likely a UAP. And so that kind of was my perspective. Granted, I also grew up in the generation of the X-Files and, I don't know if you remember 94 Independence Day. So like for me specifically, I didn't look at it.
No, nobody remembers that 1994 Independent. What is it? What is that movie? Never heard of it.
With like a crazy lens and perspective. I'm like, you never know if we're the only ones out there essentially.
But why did you assume that if it's a top secret incursion that he couldn't talk about, that it wasn't just a military craft from another country?
Because of the way that he was discussing it.
What did he say?
So he had been, he didn't want to, from what I gather, get taken off flight status. And he's like, I really can't discuss it. We couldn't really like identify it.
No, that's fair, Rainbow Ash. It's cool. I totally understand. Yeah, I was just curious. This is sort of that was sort of the Nick Fuentes thing, because Rainbow Ash saying they issue a downvote or requests to move on to a different video through the members emoji superpower that you get when you're a member, where you can request that we leave whatever video we're watching it anyway. And if we do a Nick Fuentes video, and I don't blame you at all. I just didn't know why the hell he's in the news so much right now. But again, I haven't really been paying attention to like anything lately. So I was just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, this is kind of my only access, I guess, to the rest of the world is through this weird Fundie lens that I have through my algorithm. And so when something is sort of prominent, I'm like, what's going on with that? But anyway, but yeah, it's cool. We don't have to watch any with them.
Essentially, and it had outperformed them. And so that was my first, from a military perspective, kind of experience with someone who basically, there's a stigma within the flight community. Do you want to lose your security clearance? Is there this level of crazy that people kind of...
What's up, Cat Attack? How we doing? Doing all right. And Shot. How you doing, Shot? I am an interdimensional being in my SharePoint group. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's are they? What are they like? Are they three? Like, are they like a big octopus or something? Maybe they communicate with ink blots. I always thought that was kind of a clever interpretation. Anyway,
brand that will stick with you and kind of ruin your career.
But doesn't he have instrumentation on his jet?
Well, at the time, right? So it's an older platform, but he really didn't want to even talk about it. And I bring that up because now with our investigation and the task force that I run.
Yeah, Wolfos, what's going on, dude? How we doing?
And actually,
and Forging Thought, what's up? What's up?
The reason why the task force was formed was because of an event that happened at Eglin Air Force Base, where both myself, Representative Matt Gaetz, and Representative Tim Burchett actually had responded and gone to investigate multiple Air Force pilots that had come forward in regards to UAP incidences that had occurred. And they were alleging that the Air Force was covering it up.
Interesting.
Yes, that was that, and like I'm happy.
Wow, like he does that. He does it more than Owen Wilson. Wow. Anyway, what was I was reading something of it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Drusilla said, 2 got executed. Wow. 3 life sentences and more. It was around 2008. 300,000 kids affected. 54,000 in the hospital and 6 deaths. Wow, that's awful. What the hell? Jesus Christ. Yep. I mean, yeah, dude. People are just people, y'all. And a lot of times there's some corporate asshole that's just trying to make money, and they're like, just dump the toxic waste in the water. Why do we have to care about this? This is so stupid. Like that, and so shit like that happening, not surprising at all to me. Anyway, Nana Baba, how you doing? What's going on? Yeah, it was 96. I remember taking my fiance to the theater to see it. Dude, I saw that movie like 8 times in the theater. Like, we almost had like a competition with like all of our friends. I think the only movie I saw more than Independence Day in the theater was Old School. I have no idea why I saw that movie so many times. It's kind of weird to just repeatedly go see a comedy movie, but God, I loved that movie. That was just, man, that was Will Ferrell's best. Anyway, but it's just a whole thing. But yeah, that was, and the crazy thing too was that it was like 1,000,000 hours long. Like Independence Day is so fucking long, and yet we all went and saw it in theaters and sat there for the 3 hours, multiple goddamn times. Crazy.
Happy to go into detail on that one, but what I will tell you is the stuff that I saw at Eglin, how the military responded, me being, a former service member, and then ultimately what I saw with the pushback of the military not even wanting to share with Congress information, which is a big problem because when you have Congress that's supposed to be the advocate and voice for the American people, the oversight body, and you're being denied access, not just from a base commander, but high level up at the Pentagon, even Secretary of Defense, it's a problem.
Do you think that it's
wait, but I mean, it's just, this is such an inference. It seems like she's just inferring, oh man, they're trying to keep it quiet and everything. Like, how do you know that like the things that these people think they saw weren't just like them being mistaken and the Air Force being like, yeah, we don't have time for this. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have time for you like y'all's like weird delusional like alien shit, man. Anyway,
possible that these are U.S. vehicles that are top secret?
I definitely think that there's a level of advanced technology that the U.S. government has. And I think that tech can be housed within the defense contract realm. And of course, some information is going to be classified. But I can also tell you, and this might sound crazy, but based on our investigations and stuff that we've seen, okay, there is definitely something that I think would rival what we know currently with physics, and a tech that potentially is out there that we don't have the ability to reproduce, because it would basically be like dropping a cell phone right off back during the time of maybe caveman. So like we just don't have the tech to develop it yet. What I can also tell you is,
where the hell did you get any of this, dude? Like, this is crazy that she is a fucking like politician. I mean, that makes sense that she's a Florida politician, but still, just a politician in general. How can you, and going on the biggest like podcast ever and saying this stupid shit, and then she doesn't just automatically lose her next political, like she probably gained like speed, or gained like supporters because of this stupid fucking shit.
Based on our interviews, and this has been something that you can go back and watch with the congressional hearings, but I was actually able to ask some of the witnesses, what are these things? And they keep saying interdimensional. And then when you talk about the interdimensional aspect of, are these things pre-existing, maybe outside of what we currently know as our own dimension? That stuff can kind of all sound crazy, but at the end of the day,
no, it doesn't. It sounds totally sane.
My job as
where did those other light beams come from when you cut two slits into a piece of cardboard? Where did the other beams come from? Other dimensions. That's where. Okay, and it's those interdimensional beings with flashlights that are slightly angled differently, and that's why you get all those light beams.
Investigator is to receive all the information, decipher it, and then ultimately from a congressional aspect, if you do have contractors that are withholding information or operating outside of the purview of the federal government, there's budgetary issues, but there's definitely something that I can tell you with confidence that exists that we don't know how to.
So Marjorie is a politician, Brad. Like, I got it. Yeah, we live in the worst. We live in that fucking hell. We live in a nightmare.
To explain currently.
God damn it.
When you say that it operates outside our understanding,
hey Brent, how we doing? What's going on, man?
Of physics, what specifically are you saying? Like, what happened?
Wait, you heard she grapes supporters? What? Really? Okay, I could see that.
I guess break it down in simple terms is that I think that some of the tech that exists, that whatever these things have, these energy things have.
Energy things. That's
energy things.
Yeah. Well,
he's like, energy thing? What the fuck? You just make it now? You're just bringing stuff up out of fucking nowhere without any introduction. You said interdimensional being a second ago, and now they're energy beings. What is happening? It's like, yeah, like the Tesseract. You remember from the Avengers movie?
Call them interdimensional beings. I think that they can actually operate through the time spaces that we currently have. And that's not something that I came up with on my own. That's based on stuff that we've seen. That's based on information that we've been told. And then also too, I think that there's this historical aspect of, this gets into the deeper.
Break Your Illusions asks, I love Florida, or I said, I love Florida. I used to vacation there before I was broke. Yeah, it sucks being broke. I know. Trust me. But before I was broke, was it always this wacky and I just didn't notice? Or is it a MAGA infection? It's a little of both. I'm going to be honest. Like, it's always been wacky. We've always been kind of nuts down here. As far as just, like, that's where you get a lot of the Florida man thing. And I know that the sunshine laws have a lot to do with that. But we also are especially insane down here. It's just tons of drugs, all the drugs, like, a lot of times come through here, right, on their way to other places from whatever, Cuba, whatever, wherever the hell they come from. I don't know. But and you have that. Then you also have a retirement state, whereas, like, a lot of these retired people sell their drugs, and so that they can pay for their rent on a fixed budget. But then you also have a MAGA infection. Yeah, their cult leader lives here, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so of course, like, they're all moving down here, and now they've got, like, concentration camps, which they just think is delightful. Which just tells you everything I think you need to know about those people. So yeah, it's an infection, but it's also, we've always been insane. So it just sort of added to the always insane and made it just because we were fun before. That's what it was. We were fun. Florida was a fun crazy, and now it's a mean fuck your feelings. I hate everybody like crazy, which is just, it's a dangerous crazy that it was not before.
Theories and concepts of religion and I think the history that we currently know, and that kind of spins off into another topic of, you have the modern day Bible, you have this aspect of Bibles or books of the Bible that have been removed that explain and kind of touch on these topics. And
Google Eats, what's up? I know. It said, Mr. K-Man, your order of McRibs has shipped. You may also be interested in fire for the ribs, because otherwise you're going to get parasites and stuff. It's not fun. Okay, ribs without fire, not a good lack of a combo. Yeah.
I think that we're in a time and age where you have such a vast amount of information that we have access to via social media, via your cell phone, via the internet. And so it's really changing the way that we understand, the origins of life and the spiritual reality that we know.
When you
currently.
say interdimensional beings,
what? She was like off onto, I'm like, and I know I'm like reading chat the whole time, so I'm not really paying close attention to what she's saying as I should be. But she went from like, and he's back on the interdimensional beings thing, right? But now she's just like, yeah, now we know like where the universe came from and all the spiritual stuff. That's clearly an explanation. Like, what the fuck?
they know that these are
Hold on,
interdimensional.
let me go back.
Understand, the origins of life.
The
vast amount
origins of life.
information that
What? We know the origins of life because scientists.
we have access to via social media, via your cell phone, via the internet.
What is it?
And I think that we're in a time and age where you have such a vast amount of information that we have access to via social media, via your cell phone, via the internet. And so it's really changing the way that we understand, the origins of life and the spiritual reality that we know.
When you
What the fuck is she talking? Like, that was, so it's just the fact that people have cell phones that grant you access to information that is more information than we've ever had access to. And that means that's why it's really changed people's perspective about the origins of life and stuff. What the fuck are you talking about? Dude?
say interdimensional beings,
It's like, no, I mean, it's fine. With the information and the origin of life and everything. Let's go back to the interdimensional being thing.
they know that these are interdimensional beings. How do they know that?
That, so based on testimony, would be based on witnesses that have come forward. But what I can tell
So
you
the
is
wit-
Oh, great. I like how she has to speed over that. So what's the evidence of this stuff? Well, there has been witnesses that come forward, but, and she tries to like move on that. She's like, yeah, but people lie, right? People can lie and people are crazy. and people are mistaken. Like, this is the most non-evidence evidence ever, dude.
This is just we're told that they were
no,
interdimensional.
that they've seen things.
They've seen stuff that communicated the interdimensionalness of these beings.
And what I can tell you without getting into is that I believe where
It's like, as a politician who used to be in the military, I actually have top security clearance, and I know all about the stuff that people aren't supposed to know. Okay, and so I could tell you before I get into the classified stuff that I can't tell you. I'm going to stop short of that by saying what I'm about to say vis-a-vis the following.
very credible people have reported that there have been movement outside of time and space.
There's been movement outside of time and space. How the fuck would you know that? Oh man, I saw something that didn't take up any space and didn't exist for any amount of time. How? How did you see or experience that at all? Being that it didn't take up any space and didn't exist for any amount of time.
That's very vague.
If Joe Rogan's not buying it, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like, honestly, he's the easiest person to lie to and get to be like, wow. And like, he's still not buying it.
Yeah. So look,
Unfortunately.
yeah.
Crazy.
Look, have I seen a portal open? No. Have I seen a spaceship? Personally, no. Have I seen evidence of this? Yes. Have I seen photo documentation of aircraft that I believe were not made by mankind? Yes. Is there historical
I didn't hear any of that. I was singing the intergalactic song.
seen photo documentation of aircraft that
I saw a picture of a thing that's like clearly couldn't have been made by people. How do you determine that? Like, how do you like, we don't make stuff with those shapes. Those are very non-human shapes. Like, we hate shapes like that. Okay. And we would never make a ship that shape because it's just, it looks stupid, right? I mean, why would we even do that?
is there historical significance to this? Yes. Is there multiple events that go back to, I would argue, maybe even before the time of Christ that have documented this in text? Yes. So do I believe that the government has access to certain technology? Yes, to an extent. And I believe that certain contractors potentially have back engineered this tech. I think that that's what can explain the advancements that we're seeing. But I also believe that this is a dangerous level of hidden information from the American people, because if you have an aspect of the federal government, which I can tell you, I, with two other members of Congress, were denied access to information at Eglin Air Force Base pertaining to whistleblowers because of the fact, and we can get into that story and what happened at Eglin in a second, but we were denied access and told that we don't have security clearance or the read-in authority on a special access program. That's a problem because I'm supposed to represent and be an investigative body, and you have then people.
That's what you're supposed to be as what? As a politician? Really? You're like, I don't know if you know this. When we get voted into office to govern, and we actually then take on the role of science fiction investigator. We kind of Fox Mulder it up once that happens. Once you become a politician, it's incumbent upon you to investigate aliens.
People who are unelected that are operating basically in secrecy, and that's a problem. That's a big problem.
And so how do these people have the authority to do that?
I think it's been decades.
What is it? Nina Beth said, outside space and time and space. The DS9 wormhole aliens? Is that what? What is that? What's up, Godspeed? How you doing? How does anyone know if aliens made it? I don't know. I mean, she's just like, that's what I'm saying. I think she looked at a photo and was like, that's too weird for people to make. And I'm like, have you seen the shit that people make? There was somebody that made an entire like castle replica of a castle from Harry Potter out of nothing but popsicle sticks. Okay. And you're going to tell me that, you know, people, it's too weird for people to make. No, nothing's too weird for people to make.
Of classified secret information
Have you seen Being John Malkovich? Okay. Nothing's too weird for people to make.
then also this aspect of the intelligence community that's been empowered.
Have you heard Primus? Nothing's too weird for people to make.
And it's kind of serendipitous with timing, because when you talk about the intelligence communities and what they've done essentially to the trust in this country with the American people, I think this goes all the way back even into JFK, with how they basically have operated outside of the purview of Congress and basically to an extent have gone rogue up until recently. You're seeing a big push and pull to try to rein it.
Oh, it was a Star Trek. Okay. Yeah, I don't, you know, I got to start watching that everything. I was going to say that movie, but that's, you know, it's a show, it's a movie, it's a comic book, it's literally everything. It's books, it's everything.
These intelligence agencies currently.
Yeah. So
Sounds of Mice. How you doing? What's going on? Hell yeah.
but I want to bring it back to evidence. You said that you've seen evidence. Like, what kind of evidence have you seen?
I want to take it back to this stuff that you kind of need for people to not think you're an idiot. Evidence. Let's go back to that.
I have seen photos. I have seen
What have you seen photos of?
so I was in a skiff, and I can't discuss all that was in a skiff, but what I can tell you is based on the photos that I've
It's a skiff. Sounds like a disagreement that you had with one of your lady friends. You know, we were in a skiff, okay, and she's a fucking bitch is what she, you know, and yeah, so we're a little bit in a skiff still. I'm not, she's gonna have to apologize to me. All right, that's what that is.
seen, I'm very confident that there's things out there that have not been created by mankind.
It seems great.
What the fuck? Hold on.
All that was in a skiff, but what I can tell you is based on the photos that I've seen, I'm very confident that there's things out there that have not been created by mankind.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have not been created by mankind, like, you know, flowers and stuff. Like flower is pretty normal. They've not been created by mankind. What the fuck are you talking about?
It seems crazy that people have access to information that shows that there's something outside of us that is more intelligent, at least more
Geo Sam, what's going on, dude? How you doing?
capable than we are, and they hide it from everybody else.
What I can tell you is that when you have thousands upon
Evidence is secondary to her feelings. It's just like, well, my feelings are what matter the most. And I feel like I saw something that was a ship that was just too weird to be human made.
thousands of people around the planet throughout time that have reported something.
Right.
To say that those people are crazy, to say that, you know, the whole concept of even just asking the question that you might not necessarily be psychologically sound, that in itself, you know, that's a disinformation campaign.
No, nobody's saying that, dude. It's when people become obsessed and then, you know, can't seem to, you know, be rational about shit, and assume that aliens are all over the place, even though they've never demonstrated them to exist even once, but they're the explanation for things that they, you know, have going on in their life, whatever. Like that's irrational. But like people thinking they see stuff, most normal shit ever, you know, that whatever. Like I've seen weird shit that I, you know, couldn't explain, you know, so there's nothing weird about that. Like people are going to see stuff that their brain doesn't put together right in the moment, or it just isn't, like whatever, you know, just as an odd angle, or maybe it is something that nobody knows what it is. It's possible. Like nobody's saying that it's wrong to like ask questions like that, but it's unreasonable to come to conclusions about this sort of thing without sufficient evidence, right? And you can say people saw stuff or whatever, like, you know, and they didn't know what it was. It's possible that stuff was something that nobody knows what it is. But what's the likelihood of that? You know, we got to play a game of what's more likely, right? And what's been demonstrated to exist? People being wrong. That's been demonstrated to exist. People thinking they see things that wasn't very significant, but they misinterpreted it. We have tons of evidence of that. Do we have any evidence of actual alien or interdimensional beings? It's according to this lady. No, we don't have evidence of that. So if we're playing the game of what's more likely, it's that people are mistaken, or whatever. People are mistaken or mentally unwell or whatever. Those are things we have evidence for. We don't have evidence for fucking aliens.
To get people to shut up about it. And that's a problem. We know that the U.S. government has not exactly been clean, and a lot of what they've done.
What's up, Anna? How you doing? Thanks for hanging out.
With the American people, specifically to the topic of UFOs.
Which makes you think that it's probably because there's something there. If you think about the motivation they had with Project Blue Book.
All right, Anna, check it out. Here's what we're doing. So there was face cream with demons in it. The girl's freaked out about it. She's pregnant. She doesn't want the demons to get into her face, into her baby through the face cream. All right. That was the last video. It's you're just gonna have to go back and watch it. But that was the first one. Now, this is a politician who is from literally my district saying that she's seen photographs that prove that interdimensional beings that they're there or something. I don't know. But yeah, because I'm in Florida and our politicians are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When J. Allen
We got Matt Gaetz.
Enoch was running Project Blue Book, this specific intention was to discredit all stories.
And he ended up ultimately, though, after all of his investigations, becoming someone that was like, I think there's something here. But that's true. By the way, a lot of people
Tilting Windmill, how you doing?
might not necessarily go onto Google and look up that information, but you can actually look up the declassified reports from Project Blue Book. What's also interesting, though, is when we're talking about tech, right? The ability for...
I always forget what was Project Blue Book again? I always forget. Henry Zabrowski talks about it all the time, and now I can't remember. Hey, Jasper, what's going on, dude?
This tech, being that it exists to change dependence for entire governments on things like fossil fuel, etc. It's look, I think everyone has a moral obligation to do what they think is right. Okay. And so if you're in a position of
everybody has a moral obligation to do what they think is right. Morally.
Power, and you see something wrong and you're not addressing it. I think, this in itself, getting the truth out there for people to decide for themselves. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm just telling you in our investigations and what we are pushing for in regards to transparency. I would like
our investigations as what? A fucking as a politician?
To see the
what is she even? I don't even know what her political, what I don't even know what she is as far as hold on. Anna Paulina Luna, United States representative. But what is she? Congresswoman? Well, yeah, I mean, duh, but what? But what? Hold on, Air Force veteran. God, I'm gonna have to look through everything. She is an American politician, Air Force veteran, U.S. representative for Florida's 13th congressional district since 2003, a member of the Republican Party. She is the first Mexican American woman who hated Mexican people even more than Trump did. Congress from Florida. But I mean, she's still not saying what's House representative. Okay, she's a House member. Got it. Okay, my bad. I just wanted to be clear on that. So she's Florida's 13th district House of Representatives. That's what she is. She's in my district. I did not vote for her. God damn it.
Federal government roll out some of the stuff that we've been given access to, because I think that information belongs in the hands of the American people. And it's not even just the U.S. government. I mean, there's other countries around
She's infinity mockable.
The world that have done certain
mock infinity. No, not mockinity.
Things like this. Now, look, I've had a lot of crazy people show up at my office and say, I've heard it all. Yeah, I've been to Mars. I have a chip in my brain, all this stuff.
They all have chips.
We had this one guy that showed up that was trying to give us a USB. He's like, put this in your computer. They're going to kill me for this. And runs away. And I'm like, I'm not putting that in my computer. But based on our investigations, what I will tell you.
So right there, aren't you just you're just saying, here's why you shouldn't believe anything I'm saying. And because she was just making the case that hey, if all these people throughout all this time and all these places have seen stuff, they couldn't possibly all be wrong. That's what's crazy. is thinking all those people are wrong about the nonsense that they say they've seen. And then she goes, now she's like, okay, now that I've talked about this, now we have crazy people just showing up saying they have chips in their brain. So you're just demonstrating that we have no good reason to think that the people that are the eyewitness accounts or whatever are reliable at all.
Is, there's been 2 members of Congress that are actually helping to lead out these investigations with me. And the reason I say that is because up until
next week she'll be next week she'll be the Secretary of the Space Force. That's right.
the last Congress, if you even said the word UAP or UFO, people actually told us that if we went forward with these investigations that we were going to ruin our political careers. And so, we're in
you're in Florida. You're safe. Matt Gaetz. Again, Matt Gaetz. He's from here.
the mindset of, well, like, why wouldn't we ask these questions? And also, too, if no one wants to touch it, like, there has to be something here, right?
Right.
And so in these investigations, I mean, the amount of people that will come up to us, very successful people, to multiple members of Congress that believe the same thing, it's definitely changed in regards to the stigma that used to exist about disclosure and all this. And so what we're trying to do currently was, there's a big documentary that was filmed about 1.5 years ago, and we're trying to get a screening up on Capitol Hill. But look, I think a lot of people say, well, this is a distraction from everything else happening in the country right now. And all I'm simply trying to say is, it's not a distraction. The people that are kind of helping to...
It's not a distraction, but you should pay attention to it and not the Epstein stuff with Trump. That's what you should do. Just, don't pay attention to that. UFOs and APs or whatever the fuck.
Divulge all this information. You have an intelligence community, Tulsi Gabbard, Radcliffe, Kash Patel. They have been truly, in regards to our other investigations, extremely transparent and wanting to get this information out. But it doesn't mean that within these intelligence communities there isn't pushback. And so part of the reason why the task force was formed, pertaining to things like UAP, pertaining to things like the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, pertaining to things like the JFK, MLK, and RFK investigations, is because even though we don't hold declassification authority, what we're trying to do is push these agencies and be...
This lady is nuts. She is.
If you will, the pit bull and the attack dog on trying to get this information released. And to a lot of these agencies' credits, they've been extremely transparent, and we have gotten wins specifically on the JFK stuff, and we're still looking to declassify and ask specifically on the UAP topic.
What would be the rationale for keeping a photograph of a known absolute not of this world craft from the American people or from the world? Why would anybody think that would be the smart thing to do?
Let's take a photo of this thing that nobody can know about. We should take a photo of it, since it just proves that there's no human. It's too weird for humans to have made something that looks like that. We should take a photo of it.
To limit the access of that information to a very small amount of people.
I think that part of the fear is that you have advisors that think that, the American people or humanity might not be able to handle it. There's this protective complex, but then also too, I think when you are talking about these things, for a lot of people, I think that it kind of can rock your world a little bit in regards to where you stand in a faith perspective, and then also too an aspect of...
Well, it doesn't in a faith perspective. Because wouldn't like aliens exist and kind of just throw a wrench in the whole Jesus came to save the souls of humanity? Because, the fact that we have free will means that he's got to sacrifice himself to himself in order to convince himself to save the world from himself. But doesn't that kind of would aliens existing, wouldn't that fuck up your whole religious thing? Unless, and there could be an alien Jesus, right? That went and got tortured, murdered by the aliens in a very alien way, not on a cross, but in some kind of, maybe like an acid poured on their skin slowly, and so it's just layer by layer. I don't know, but it doesn't really fit with your whole narrative of your religion.
Well, how do you even begin to explain it? And all I'm going to say is, look, and we can go into some of the books that were removed from what we know as the modern day Bible, but I read through the book of Enoch multiple times, and I'm not saying that these things are angels. Okay, that's not at all what I'm saying. But what I am,
we got to, how we got to get to the bottom of this interdimensional being thing. The Book of Enoch. That's right. Of course. Right. You know, of course that would be the next fucking place you would go. What the hell? How did we get wow, talk about a leap to something like, okay, we could talk about that too. Anna Paulina Luna. Jesus.
Saying is that depending on where you are in regards to your whole perspective on whether or not God exists, like I believe in God, I'm a Christian.
Oh,
There
you don't say.
has to have been, and there's admissions that there was other creations that God made, but that we were the most prized creation.
Oh, so that's the explanation. Is there's these interdimensional beings are other creations that God made that we that he doesn't really care about, and they're jealous really of us.
And so I think that this can open up a bigger topic of discussion.
Oh my God. Okay. Good. I'm glad that all right. Hold on. Hopefully this still comes up. All right. So that's how we got to the fucking Enoch thing. Because I was like, what? Because there's another there's another video. Look at this. It's in so many videos. This is weird. Like, this is a viral. I guarantee it's like a viral thing. It was this person, this Elijah. Damn it, where is it? Oh wait, maybe it'd be in my history, right? Hold on. I started it, so I should be able to find it. Hold on. Let's see here. Okay. There it is. Look, Joe Rogan fact checks ladies. Just some fucking lady. She doesn't even bother to say her name. Claims on the Book of Enoch. So here we go. Perfect follow-up, right?
When you have
Okay, here we go. And this kid talks like this about everything. And so this lady went on Joe Rogan and she is talking about the Book of Enoch.
it's basically kind of like a mainline OG version of the Bible. And then sometime in the 4th century, there was actually a group that came together and they removed certain books. The story goes that Revelation
Reptilian humanoids, of course. Maybe you've heard of them.
actually had replaced Enoch. Why remove a book?
What? Wait.
In the 4th century, there was actually a group that came together and they removed certain books. The story goes that Revelations actually had replaced Enoch. Why remove a book from a Bible, right?
Did Wes Huff, did he touch on that? That's the guy to talk to.
The great grandfather of Noah.
Okay. Logan, what's going on, dude? How you doing, man? It's good to see you. OG Bible. Hey, Buck. Hey, Chet. What's going on, man?
Enoch
Good.
as this character who is explaining some of these fallen angels or beings. Part of the confusion about the Book of Enoch is because the Book of Enoch is never considered scripture by the Jews, but ends up in the Ethiopian Bible.
Joe Rogan fact checks this lady by saying, you need to talk to Wes Huff. And oh my goodness, the crowd goes wild. This is
I don't think the crowd went wild. There's not a crowd there, dude. Like, what the fuck?
so cool. The fact that Joe Rogan is like, ask Wes Huff on this.
That's like amazing that we went from this crazy Florida politician talking about UAPs and Project Blue Book and fucking interdimensional beings. And then she's like, and hear me out. Also, the Book of Enoch. Like, what the fuck? And now Bible stuff. Why would people take books of the Bible out? That's you leave Bible books in the Bible. That's how Bible books work, okay?
Because this lady brings up the topic of the Book of Enoch, and she's like, why not?
Alien Jesus. For God so loved the worlds, he gave his only lobster. It's a lobster. Lobsters are pretty alien,
The world is it taken out of the Bible? And that's just not true. It was never taken out of the Bible. It was never put in the Bible in the first place. But besides the Ethiopian Bible, so she thinks the Ethiopian Bible is the oldest, but it's just not true. So we're going to be reacting to this video of Joe Rogan calling out this lady.
I don't know enough about this stuff. Where did Kipp go? Is Kipp here? I feel like Kipp would know about this sort of thing.
and saying you need to talk to Wes Huff, and then we're gonna go to a
Definitely better than Wes Huff. I know Kipp would know better.
video of Wes Huff explaining the book of Enoch and why it is not in the Bible. Let's get into it.
To think that we are the only, life form.
This lady. That's hey Maya. Yep. She's my politician. Did I mention that? I don't think I did. Shut up, Kevin. No, I didn't. I didn't. Not to Maya. I don't think Maya heard. Just quit. Don't tell me. Just stop. God damn it. Kevin, I swear to God.
On this planet or in this galaxy, I think is a little bit crazy, given the fact that I also think God exists and that there's other creations. But then again, you get into this aspect of, why is it that you also have this aspect of, a certain religion that has been very controlled and I think rolled out in a certain aspect. And, when you have certain books that are removed because they don't think that people should have access to this information or know it, why remove a book from a Bible, right?
Why remove a book from a Bible? What? Jesus acted like, out of all those Bibles, you don't take any of the books out of those Bibles. Like, what are you talking about?
Did Wes Huff, did he touch on that?
Who are you looking at, man? Who are you? Jamie's like, don't look at me. All right. Hey, I don't fucking know. You think I memorized everything, single word that's said on your fucking shit? No, I don't know.
Did he talk about that? Are there people that don't believe the book of Enoch was really a part of the Bible?
This is amazing. He brings Wes Huff up, and we're gonna play Wes Huff actually explaining this because we all need to know. She's making wild claims saying that they took the book of Enoch out of the Bible and saying the Ethiopian Bible is the oldest, and it's just not true.
Missing books.
I don't know. the Ethiopian Bible. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we brought it up, but I don't remember how.
That's the guy to talk to.
Yeah. So from what I
That's the guy to
gather,
talk to about. You know what I mean? Because you have to really understand the history of the Bible to be able to figure out what what's legitimate, what's not, why they put it into the New Testament. I had some very erroneous ideas about it until I talked to intelligent people.
Erroneous. That's good. Nice word usage there, Joe. That was good.
That's so amazing.
That's so amazing.
It's so amazing. Joe Rogan is literally admitting.
There's Kipp. How you doing? What's up, man?
And he's come so far.
All right. What's the deal with the book of Enoch? None of us, none of us, we're all very interested, and I'd love to be able to debunk this sort of thing going on here right now, but I don't know. Let me back up.
You have to really understand the history of the Bible to be able to figure out what what's legitimate, what's not, why they put it into the New Testament. I had some very erroneous ideas about it.
Wait, New Testament? It's not. The book of Enoch wouldn't have been the New Testament, right?
Until I talked to intelligent people.
That's so amazing, Wes Huff. It's so amazing. Joe Rogan is literally admitting, and he's come so far. He went from saying the Bible's full of BS, and now he's saying you got to talk to some Christians here because I used to think some crazy stuff.
Really?
Yeah. You know how large his audience is? Do you know how large the percentages of Christians in the population that he's trying to appeal to? Yeah.
Really know the history of it. And it's very strange stuff.
well, so from what I gather, and by the way, I'm not a theologian in any capacity.
Usage is a good way. It is. I like it too.
But just from my personal opinion on this. So you have the Ethiopian Orthodox text, which has, I think, 88 books of the Bible in total. But in the Ethiopian Orthodox text, it's basically kind of like a mainline OG version of the Bible. And then sometime in the 4th century, there was actually a group.
A mainline. It's that good. Okay. It hasn't been cut by all the dealers, but this is straight from Columbia Bible. Okay. Now this is
that came together and they removed certain books, and the story goes that Revelations actually had replaced Enoch.
What?
Revelation. She doesn't even know the name of the fucking book.
And so it's interesting because when you're looking kind of full circle on, you hear the stuff that some of these people are talking about, and then you see and you read the book of Enoch, which is a wild read. Okay. And then you look at kind of what our modern day description is of what angel.
The book of Enoch, or the book of the Watchers. Ooh, that's creepy. First Enoch 1 through 39 dates to probably the 3rd century BCE. Damn. Okay. So it's the way it. Yeah, it is. It's old.
And entities are versus what Enoch was seeing and reporting in his language and ability
Wait,
at that time. I think that there's a lot that brings you to then ask the question, well, why would they remove this information if it's truly, written in part of the oldest Bible
Oh, 3rd century. God damn. Okay. I don't. Got it. Never mind.
in the world? Why would they then take it out
I'm like the 3rd year. That's almost when Jesus would be born.
and water it down? And I'm not
3 years before Jesus. Come on, Kipp. I don't think that's right.
saying that you can't find God through the new Bible, right? Like
That wasn't right.
everyone's on their own spiritual journey, and I think everyone can pray and you can access God. But
I'm not on a spiritual journey. Just saying.
Seriously, where did you get this information to say that it was replaced by Revelation? No, absolutely not true. And we see the
That does sound really wrong. But
Ethiopian Bible is nowhere close to be the oldest Bible there is. The Sinaiticus Bible is way older, found in, I believe, the 4th century, and the Book of Enoch's not in there. It's the entire Bible.
I just find that very interesting. And so what I will say is that
I don't know if about any of that either. The Sinaiticus.
I like to have the whole kind of picture in front of me. And so I feel like to fully understand A through Z, you kind of have to be able to read it.
Yeah, I just don't know about
You have to be able to read it.
the history of it. Is there any debate about the reality of that book? Is there any debate about
About is it a real book? I don't know. Sounds made up. Lady, did you just make this book up just now? Enoch. Like, what are you even talking? That's not a book.
whether or not it was either fraudulent or discredited or something?
Book of Enoch?
Yeah. Like, why did they? Because I know there was some kind of controversy that Wes Huff described. I just can't remember
Yeah, I
it.
don't.
Yeah, you talk to too many people.
I just looked through a transcript real quick. I didn't see you guys discussing Enoch. We were discussing Isaiah and then the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff like that. I didn't see Enoch discussion.
No, it must have been me privately talking to him about something that.
We're
Oh, now it's a private. Shut the fuck up, Joe. You're just making shit up now.
going to go to a video of Wes Huff explaining the Book of Enoch on another.
Let's see. Kipp said, yeah, but the writer of Jude had one Enoch in his Bible. So it's there you go. That's it, right?
Their podcast. There are some controversies.
Wait, there was a person named Enoch?
The Book of Enoch, at least the first one, was written, yes, 300 years probably, or the oldest one we have is 300 years before Jesus. And then
Okay. So this kiddo or this man child, I don't know how old they are, but it's very difficult to tell. But he's saying 300 years, and that's what you were saying, 300 or 3rd century BCE, right? So that's at least accurate. Credit where credit's due.
other ones were written during the time of Jesus. Completely impossible for Enoch actually to write it. Not unless, obviously,
What if he's an interdimensional being? Back to like what we're actually talking about here. Okay, what if an interdimensional being can just walk through a doorway and then all of a sudden be in that time? All right, they live like Dr. Manhattan.
preserved over time, whatever, but we don't know if it's true or not.
Another video that I watched. The thing about like what Wes Huff does that's so interesting is like he really understands like the history of the text, the language in which they use, the names in which they chose.
What the fuck? Okay, alien Jesus Christ. Enoch. Who's there? Jude. Ooh. Jude be surprised. Jude be surprised that Enoch is in my Bible. That was good. That was pretty good. I did. My dad is laughing in his grave right now. I know it. I can tell,
And when he breaks it out, one of the things he told us that was the craziest was that the book of Isaiah was exactly the same in the Dead Sea Scrolls as it was 1,000 years later. They found one that was 1,000 years older. And
see, he's still saying it. He's still saying that shit.
it was direct. It was word for word, verbatim.
It wasn't. Nope. It's
I'm like, that's
wow.
bananas.
Like super not. Nope.
1,000.
And he's still
And why is it bananas though? Like I know I don't understand this as far as just like I mean, it's first of all, it's just plain wrong. But beyond that, even if it wasn't wrong, so the fuck what? They were holy scriptures. It would make sense that they would try to preserve something as long as they possibly could. You know, it's not like the fucking like the trying to think of a good example. Amazing Fantasy 57. It's not going to change in 1,000 years. It's still going to be Amazing Fantasy issue 57 or whatever.
Quoting that is amazing from Wes Huff.
Year-old story that's exactly the same written.
So just like it was impossible for Moses or Daniel to have written anything. That's right.
That they didn't know there was a version of it 1,000 years ago, and then they find it in these caves
It's confirmed
in
in
Qumran.
text.
It's
Yeah.
nuts. It's really weird.
I mean,
It's really, really weird stuff.
And the fact that this kid, shepherd kid, was able to even find these scrolls that they were set up, and just is led to that point right in time where he finds this massive, basically admission that the Bible's real. You can actually look into.
I think we all knew that the Bible's real. What is happening? Why do they keep saying that books are real? Like we know the books are real. What the fuck is going on? Nobody's saying that the Bible isn't real. We're not like, no, that's a book that doesn't actually exist, and you just are making stuff up. Like, but it's whether or not it's fucking true. All it did was prove that like religion existed. So, like, who cares?
There's a New King James, and then you can actually look into the Catholic Bible as well that also has, they call them apocrypha texts because the King James Bible doesn't acknowledge them, but there are also other books that are not considered, approved by the King James. So look, I was on my mom's side, I was actually raised.
But the apocrypha, well, and I guess there's Old Testament apocrypha as well, right? But I was always, the New Testament apocrypha stories were just fascinating to me. But I never felt like I got a good explanation from church as to why that happened. What was it that was, what was the criteria for a book of the Bible to be a book of the Bible? I never got any of that.
Catholic, and then had my catechism, did all of it. And then on my dad's side, I was raised Christian, and then later on Messianic Jew. And so I feel like I kind of have like a good cross section, and I've been exposed to a lot of it.
That's hilarious. Give Dave said 22 copies of Isaiah in the Dead Sea Scrolls. No two are alike, and all of them are different from the Masoretic texts. So it's like it proved literally the opposite. It's amazing how they can just like say the opposite of the thing. My God, Jesus.
Growing up. But it's definitely interesting. And so, look, I don't tell people, like, I'm not saying that like aliens created mankind. I don't believe that, because I, at the end of the day, believe that God is responsible for our creation.
Joe's like sitting there, well, hold on, now let's not go crazy. You're okay. But I tend to think that aliens did make humans, okay?
But I do think that what we've been programmed to believe in regards to our ability to be able to use our mind.
Programmed what? Hold on. I got to hear this whole sentence because it sounds like it's about to be a run on.
That God is responsible for our creation. But I do think that what we've been programmed to believe in regards to our ability to be able to.
In our ability to be able to
use our mind, spiritual aspect of us really does exist. And I think that
what the spiritual aspect of it really does exist. What?
Once you kind of remove yourself out of this basically rat race and you can like really reconnect with that, I think that that's when you kind of realize, hey, there's a bigger purpose here in life, and like what is our end objective. And if you're given a position of influence or a position of power and you're not doing the right thing for humanity, you're not guiding people, then that's something that you have to answer for.
What the fuck are you talking about? How did you get what the wow, like this sentence started so different. Remember I said it was going to be around outside? I called it. I could hear it. Once you start saying in our ability to be able to use our minds to spiritual stuff is holy shit.
So I want to make sure that I'm good with God.
Is
our end objective.
That was it. And I would just want to make sure that I'm good with God. Hold on. I'm sorry. One more time. Last time I do this, I promise.
Kind of remove yourself out of this basically rat race, and you can like really reconnect with that, I think that that's when you kind of realize, hey, there's a bigger purpose here in life, and like what is our end objective. And if you're given a position of influence or a position of power and you're not doing the right thing for humanity, you're not guiding people, then that's something that you have to answer for. So I want to make sure that I'm good with God.
Jesus Christ. Okay. You think very highly of yourself.
I hear you.
Even yeah, I hear you. Yeah, whatever. Oh my God, what the fucking idiot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I think these stories, especially when you get to stories like Noah and the Ark, and that these stories exist in basically every religion.
Was awesome. He's just given amazing shout outs to Wes Huff. So we're going to go to Wes Huff explaining the book of Enoch and why exactly it did not go into the Bible. Joe Rogan said to go check out Wes Huff. So here we go. We're checking him out.
Gods have throne guardians. And within biblical Judaism, these are
They get throne guardians. Okay.
the seraphim and they are the cherubim. So sometimes you'll see those memes.
The eye things, the things with the too many eyes. Like what if that just could get poked in the eye? Like why would the protector things be that vulnerable? All you got to do is be like, it's like, ow, oh my God. Oh my God, it's gonna be so. I'm gonna have like red. I'm not gonna be able to see right now all day, and it hurts. I'm gonna feel like there's something in my eye even after it's not there anymore because you know how your eye does that sometimes. It sucks. It just feels like
The biblically accurate angels.
Yeah.
Those are cherubim. That's what they
Oh,
are.
okay.
It's not actually an angel. It's kind of a misnomer in terms, but I get it because we kind of broad brush with all these categories. The book of Enoch is part of the literature that's trying to explain that. What on earth is this? Actually, if you go back to my wesleyhuff.com, I do. So every Monday,
what do you?
I do these posts that I call Manuscript Monday. So if you go back to the homepage, click that, scroll down,
Go back.
you'll see the
just move the mouse to the opposite way. Oh my God, why am I doing this? At least show the screen while I'm explaining what to do.
blog post. Keep going.
No,
Keep
go
going.
up.
Right there.
Wait, no, back. No, well, now you're too far back. But I said no. Oh my good God! Could you just fuck?
So biblically accurate angels. So I actually explain some of these. If you go down, go up. Right there. So like angels, seraphim.
I don't know why this cracks me up so.
Cherubim, and then how these are
Correct.
portrayed. And I particularly go through the manuscripts and how both Christian and Jewish interpretation of them reflects them differently. But these are these characters which the book of Enoch is trying to make sense of, along with demons. And so the way that they go about that is by capitalizing on the events that happen immediately before Genesis chapter 6 in the biblical flood, where you have the great grandfather of
This guy with the
Noah, Enoch, as this character who is explaining some of these fallen angels or beings. Genesis chapter 6 says that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were pleasing to the eyes and slept with them.
Really? Okay. Keep saying Gabriella. I don't think I can say that. Bassini, but Gabriella B. Was saying that she argues quite persuasively that one Enoch was actually an alternative to the Mosaic Torah, to the whole thing. Like I said, it's the first 5 books. I'm whoa, wow, that's interesting. Oh yeah.
And that these created men of renown.
This is about the only thing I know about the book of Enoch is there's that one part in there about the Nephilim, right? And they said that like, oh man, we were the size of grasshoppers to these things. Now grasshoppers can get pretty fucking big. Now, if you seen those one, they're like, but still human to grasshopper. There's quite the size difference. It's a Galactus kind of situation, I think.
And that's the word Nephilim.
There it is.
So the trickiness of this is that in ancient Judaism, when it's translated into other languages, Nephilim is almost exclusively translated as giants.
Kevin, what are you doing? They can tell you're doing something in the chat, man. That's why I can hear them. I can't hear them. I know I messed up the word. I could say I'm seeing them. I'm seeing. You don't shut the fuck. Don't stop doing whatever you're doing.
But the word etymologically in Hebrew, nafal, literally means to fall. So there's this whole narrative within ancient Judaism of these things are fallen angels. And so, but that's not the same thing necessarily in ancient Judaism as demons, and that's where it gets complicated.
Okay, so
Wait, fallen angels are not the same thing as demons? Because I thought that was literally what made them demons.
I'm just reading the background here so people have it. The Nephilim. Let me pull this over here. So it's on
Is that one guy that did Kipp? Didn't you go on his show? The Jones. Is that that Danny? Is it Danny Jones, dude, who brings on a lot of like scholars and stuff?
the
Or is that somebody else?
Nephilim are mysterious beings or people in the Bible traditionally imagined as being of great size and strength. The origins of the Nephilim are disputed. Some, including the author of the Book of Enoch, view them as the offspring of fallen angels and humans. Others view them as descendants of Seth and Cain.
Boring. Those are the boring people that believe true stuff, probably.
The reference to them is Genesis 6:1-4, but the passage is ambiguous.
Yeah.
And the
Ambiguous. Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too.
identity
It is
of the
ambiguous.
Nephilim is disputed according to the Numbers 13:33. 10 of the 12 spies report the existence of Nephilim in Canaan prior to the conquest by the Israelites. A similar or identical biblical Hebrew term read as Nephilim by some scholars or as the word fallen by others appears in the Ezekiel 32:27 and is also mentioned in
Cool. Okay, because nope, the word Nephilim almost certainly does not derive from the Hebrew word nephal, meaning to fall. It sounds very similar, but probably comes from a different, older, unknown word. Huh. Oh, that's fascinating. Holy shit.
the
Deuterocanonical.
Deuterocanonical books.
Okay. Yeah. Danny Jones. That's crazy. I saw that come up the other day. And I was like, oh man, I almost want to go check that out. Did you have a good time on there? It was like, was it pretty cool?
Judas 16:6, Sirach 16:7, Baruch 3:26-28, and Wisdom 14:6.
Yeah. So let me read that for us.
I didn't know about who that. I didn't know about them until they brought on that Armand guy, that dude, to debate with what the fuck was his name, the real life exorcist guy, Bob. What's his name? Bob something. He kept calling him Bob. Look here, Bob. I'll tell you, Bob. God, he talks so weird.
When men began to multiply on the face of the land, the daughters of them were born. The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Then Yahweh.
I love how like just angels are coming down and just grabbing up women. Wasn't it that it's saying like that they could have sex with any, or I mean, I guess it is just having sex with any women that they choose. Is that because they're just that gorgeous? I don't know, or are they just a bunch of fucking, what's the guy that plays Aquaman? Yeah, just a bunch of that guy, just gorgeous, but with like a Thanos size Aquaman actor.
He said, "My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them."
And if you want to come in somebody, I'm not going to repeat what he said in the second one. That was not good. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley. Also, if you want to hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. Means a lot to me personally. It warms and tingles my heart if you do it. So please do it. Anyway, all right.
These were mighty men who were of old, men of renown.
Men of renown.
So that's literally what the Hebrew says.
Right. So, and Enoch is just trying to explain these watchers, these angelic beings, these spiritual beings, which puts into perspective. Yeah, there's different creatures, there's different things out there besides just humans. We understand that. Fallen people. But does that mean that they were trying to replace Revelations with Enoch or Enoch with Revelations? No, and he's going to capitalize on this.
Why would it replace Revelation? It almost sounds like she mixed up the Torah for Revelation. which is wow. I mean, she mixed up the first first 5 books for the last 1 book. That's incredible.
Like the Wikipedia article accurately says, it's not entirely
Oh, see, yeah, there's wrong. It literally says men of the name. Huh. Interesting. Not Revelation. It's damn it, you're right. I fucked it up. Fucking shit.
clear what's going on there. But Enoch
It's because she was saying it earlier. Got it in my head. Now I couldn't,
is part of the Jewish conversation in trying to flesh this out. But, and particularly in the Book of the Watchers, which is the oldest book. And so that's what
That's the one. That's what we were just talking about.
Enoch is. Now, part of the confusion about the Book of Enoch is because the Book of Enoch is never considered scripture by the Jews, but ends up
Oh, okay. Thank goodness. I was like, did I say it wrong? Okay. No, it wasn't me. It was them.
in the
It was that idiot. Say, I don't ever make mistakes like that.
Ethiopian Bible. And part of the,
Ethiopian Bible.
yeah, so the Ethiopian church has is like a wing of, you have these different sort of overarching denominations of Christendom. You have today Protestants, Eastern Orthodox, Coptic, Roman Catholic, and then the Ethiopian.
They have a Coptic? Dude, that's pretty cool. Coptic. Probably have some dicks and cocks in it.
Church. And the Ethiopian church, we know that around the 4th century, missionaries from Syria went down to what then was referred to as the Kingdom of Aksum, which is in modern-day Ethiopia, and they brought with them a whole host of literature. And part of this literature was New Testament books in Greek and the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Old Testament, which at that point was final.
Ah, okay. See, so what? Pardon? Enoch was absolutely considered scripture by at least the Assassines. Right? Did I say that right? I don't know if I'm saying it right. The first Christians also almost certainly considered first Enoch scripture. So it absolutely was in the like considered scripture and then was taken out later.
And the Ethiopian church took all of this literature, which included literature that
because he was trying to make the case that like it was never part of it. It was just some side thing over on the just over here for what it
that nobody considered scripture at the time, and they appear to have just been non-discretionary and included everything. So all of the debates that were happening in the Latin West and the Greek East about what was and wasn't scripture, they looked at that and they said, we're not really interested in that. We'll just take everything. So
I would still say, who's this child in the corner?
in being,
he's a man, okay, and he's I'm pretty sure he has kids and a wife and everything. It doesn't seem like it. He seems like he's stuck at 15 for the past 20 years.
Non-discretionary, they end up just canonizing everything, which leaves them with a canon of scripture that is completely unique and includes books like Enoch, which the ancient Jews and every ancient Christian didn't. Well, actually, I should preface that. There were a couple of early Christians who said, we think this could be scripture, but then they accept when, all the debates happen that, okay, those are pretty good reasons we're not going to accept it.
Right. And also,
so he's saying that it wasn't, and it's funny that he's like it absolutely was not scripture to any of the earliest. Well, I'm going to take that back. There were probably but once the debate happened and people here's my logical syllogism as to why the Book of Enoch is not a magically inspired book from the Carpenter Ghost. Then they were like, what, you make a compelling case. And you know what? We'll take it out.
guys, this is where all the confusion comes from. It still doesn't mean, though, that those stories are scriptural or they're inspired by God. Yes, you can learn.
So a whole bunch of them. So Logan was asking, if the Book of Enoch, was Enoch found in the Dead Sea Scrolls? And Dr. Kipp said several copies of Enochic written in Aramaic were found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Wow. Okay, so there's a bunch of them. Jesus.
Learn stuff from them 100%. Maybe that some of it's true. I don't know, but that doesn't mean that it's inspired by God.
And so I don't know.
So some of it can be true, but it doesn't mean that it's inspired by God. What? This is so weird when they start doing this sort of thing, because this is the thing about having like a text that they see as being magical, as they see as being like their holy magical book, and they're like, what about this earlier book, that was part of it, but maybe it says stuff that, like, I don't know, kind of flies in the face of like what we'd like to think about. I mean, I don't know why they don't accept the Book of Enoch as biblical or inspired by God or whatever. But it's just funny because they're like, no, this one counts, that one doesn't. Okay, I know they both came from the same time period. They talk about roughly the same type of stuff. They both, but I'm not supposed to like that one. Okay, that one's not. I'm not supposed to. My pastor told me I'm not supposed to believe that one is the actual Bible. So
Where the idea came from, but there is definitely a prevailing myth on the internet that the Ethiopian Bible is the oldest Bible.
Right.
And that's not true. In fact, the oldest copy of the Ethiopian
somehow neither Wes nor the man-child seems to be aware that different ancient churches compiled different canons of scripture, which that makes perfect sense. You would think. I mean, do we kind of still do that? I mean, the Catholics have all that, the Apocrypha, right? Or Apocrypha, right? So we kind of still do that. So like it makes perfect sense to that would be the case back then.
Ethiopian Bible, which is full in terms of a Genesis to Revelation copy, is 14th century. So
what's up, Ryan? How we doing, man?
Oh, it's a long time.
That's
after.
insane. Compared to the 4th century.
But there's a lot of talk online about Enoch, and particularly the copy of Enoch that is in the Ethiopian Bible, and that, that's actually reflective of the original Bible because the Ethiopian Bible is the oldest. I don't know how that myth started. It's patently untrue.
Yep, and that's where that lady gets her information from, apparently. The Codex Sinaiticus, the 4th century Greek manuscript, is considered one of the oldest and most complete Bibles, containing both the Old and the New Testament. It is a historical treasure. And I think it's just...
AI is like, it's a treasure. Okay. It is a historical treasure. We love it. Us AIs love that book. Dude, it's just reading the AI too. AIs just lie sometimes. You know that? I got so excited. I was so mad. I was like, somebody made a joke at work or whatever. They're like, I'm not coming in on Monday. That's, we have that day off. And I was like, is there, are we working Monday or whatever? Is that like a holiday, And it was like, yes, Labor Day is this Monday. And I was like, oh my God, this Monday is Labor Day. It wasn't even close. It was like 3 weeks off. What the fuck? How does AI not know what this Monday means? But he's asking it questions like this and expects to get a fucking good answer.
So amazing that Jesus is working in Joe Rogan's life, that he's pointing to Christians and believers of all kinds. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching.
But in the Ethiopian Orthodox text, it's basically...
that we just started over. Okay, interesting. But yeah, that's pretty wild. That's fascinating. We're learning a lot about the Book of Enoch here, which is pretty cool. Because I was quite unaware of all of that. So that was pretty neat. Let me see. Is this the full episode? Wow, 1.4 million views. Because we didn't really it kind of interrupted. I see that, but I have no idea where they got into the alien thing in this. And it's like 17,000 hours, right? 2.5 hours, whatever. So I don't know. Let's do this one. It's Monday, so it's Demon Day. That's when we do our demon stuff. I'm going to try to structure things a little bit more, so that we, know what to expect on which day. And that way, if you're not into one of the two or three topics that I cover, you can skip that day. You know what I mean? If you're like, no, I want to wait until they just make fun of Gina Marie Calvin Hill. She doesn't have a channel anymore, so I can't. But that type of stuff, I don't know what day that would be. But we're gonna figure it out.
That guy.
Okay, so this is Mike Sigarilli, something. Anyway, he was the one, and I think was probably one of the funniest streams that I've ever done, just because it was the first time I ever was introduced to him, and he was saying that Pokemon was a demon, and how he knew this was that he was hanging out or talking to somebody in from a tribe in Africa, and they pointed to one of the Pokemon cards and told him that they were very familiar with that demon, and they get inside their house and they knock stuff over and stuff. I think there was some kind of a language barrier, but it was really funny. Anyway, here we go. That's not what this is. I'm just saying.
Real. How come we don't see the evidence of them in churches like we read about in the Bible? It seems like everywhere Jesus went, demons were shrieking through people. He was casting them out of people. But in the West, in the United States church, the typical church, you don't see any of that happen ever. Why? Is the Bible wrong? Is it just...
Yes. Yeah, that one. That's it. You can just stop right there.
Not available today. In this clip that I'm going to share with you with Mike.
Yeah. Kipp, David saying, read it. Enoch's fine. I think I am. I actually just found my keyword Bible after we had talked yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start reading this sucker, because it's been a while since I've actually gone through and read the Bible, but yeah, I'll have to check out Enoch too. It's pretty cool.
Signorelli, I did an interview with him on my podcast for Directed Life. He breaks down one of the best explanations.
Well, back to it. Say, Wes's entire perspective of this is hilariously naive, especially for a PhD student in the Bible. I know you'd think somebody who's a student getting their PhD would know stuff like this, right? They'd be a little bit more familiar. Plus, he's famous. And that's what I never understand. How could you be as famous as him? And he's trying to be a Bible scholar. I think this just proves how much Christian Bible scholars don't give a shit. They're just well, as long as it aligns with his doctrine, that's why he thinks about it that way or whatever. But they just let people like him get away with anything, it seems. But yeah. Because where are all the other Christian Bible scholars disagreeing with him or cutting him down? I don't understand how he doesn't seem to ever have any pushback.
For why churches don't see the demonic manifested, and that's why churches never actually participate in deliverance. I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you think. Why are we not seeing this in more churches today? And then I want you to check out this.
Giselle said, my pastor said I'll get butt demons if I read Enoch. And if you want to read Enoch and get some butt demons, go to Adam and they're not going to like that I did that segue. They're like, yeah, we don't do butt demons. What? That's not here at adamandeve.com. We do not sell butt demons. Now, butt dildos, and really dildos that are versatile too. They don't have to go in the butt, but it's recommended to go in all the holes actually. But anyway, go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley at checkout. There we go. Yeah, it was just a segue thing.
Clip from Mike Signorelli from our podcast right here. You're gonna love it.
I've had people make negative comments on my videos, and they're like, "Dude, you're talking way too much about this sort of stuff." I never realized that. It's hey, let's look proportionally at what the Gospels actually talk about.
Demons. They talk about demons. Just 90%, dude, of the gospel message was demons are going to get in your face, bro.
In regards to Jesus' ministry, it was predominantly this stuff.
Yeah, and then but that's the thing, the apostolic leaders, they also continued that. So it's not oh, Jesus dealt with demons and then it was over. Paul steps up, Peter steps up. As a matter of fact, in Acts chapter 19, they're praying over handkerchiefs because they don't have phones.
They don't have these means of reaching people. So they're like, hey, I can't physically get to them. Let me pray over this physical object, take it to them as a representation of this impartation of the anointing.
Does anybody have like a napkin? Let me pray over the napkin. And then if we could, can somebody take that to the person that I need? And then they can touch the napkin after I've magicked it with my prayers.
And it says two things. In Acts 19, it says when they touched the handkerchiefs, they were healed of diseases and
Oh my God, that is actually what he's saying.
unclean spirits came out of
Oh
it.
my God.
Now,
And dirty, naughty spirits just came all over their face. Wait, I mean, came out of them. Sorry, they came out of the.
recommending that you start selling anointed handkerchiefs from your YouTube channel might be a nice.
Butt demons. Said Jesus liked butt demons.
I'd hustle for Luke. I don't.
Butt.
Cancel that order. You know, and people have made that weird like.
We're very mature here. We're literally talking about Bible scholarship and everything. And we just and butt demons. It's just wildly just lopsided, or just all over the place. We'll just say
They've made a weird thing out of that.
Yeah.
I truly believe
So
the heart
funny.
behind it was, and I want the audience to catch this. The heart behind it wasn't let me get some kind of mystical object that holds power. I really believe the point of it was we believe so much that people need to be free from the influence of demons and that they can be healed.
but then they just have to keep coming back, because once they're healed, they have to keep being healed.
That we will do whatever we can to get a point of contact to them. And so it's like, and that's why I've been grieved at the American church that just refuses to talk about this stuff. And I'll tell you why, because it's
stupid. It's stupid and makes your religion seem super fake, super fast.
It's like this weird fear of they're going to think that I'm that guy. And it's
because that guy's psycho, man. That guy's stupid.
But it's like, dude, you believe that a teenage girl was impregnated by a spirit and conceived a human named.
You're not helping your case here, man. Yeah, that's fucking stupid too. Yep. You nailed it. I know.
Jesus. If you're a Christian,
you're basically just like you already think stupid things. Okay. You pretend to cannibalize an undead carpenter ghost that you think lives inside of you, man. Okay. So just what's one more stupid to add to the fucking pile?
Yeah. If you're a Christian, you're already in on psychopathic level crazy. Like, you know what I'm trying to.
Yep. Wow. I'm glad to hear you say it, buddy. Okay. Just, saying the quiet parts out loud.
I used to be an atheist. So I look at the world through an
right. Yeah. Okay.
Atheistic lens.
Yeah, oh, sure you do. Yep.
So it's weird to me that like you're going to try to convince me. And by the way, that half-breed human that only had,
the monkeys fly out and we fly in.
Mary's genetics
of the butt. That's the butt.
And the other bit were gods. He died and 3 days later came back from the dead and then ascended into heaven in front of hundreds of people. So it's
more like raped by the spirit. Yeah. No consent going on there. And just sending an angel to be like, by the way, still doesn't count. Okay. That does not count as consent, dude. That's just that's just hey, this is going to happen. No, you don't get to say anything about it. And that's it. It's just, preparing you for the grape, I guess.
It's like, if you already believe that, why are you mad at me talking about demons? I honestly think it's less weird to talk about demons than it is the incarnate Christ. And so I think for me, it's just like
his face did not look like he liked that. He's like, oh, okay. So it's more weird to talk about the what? The incarnate of Christ being 3 in 1, because that's logically incoherent. But
I've been the guy that was the fringe guy for a while, and I'm going mainstream now because everybody's actually reading their Bible and realizing that their local church pastor cut out 95% of it.
I don't know. Brett said, I don't think the butt demons ask for consent. Okay. I don't know. Have you read the Satanic Bible? Satanic Temple's Bible? Consent is a large part of it. I think since they are demons, right, which are clearly more on the Satanic Temple side, I think they would. they'd be like, even though we're butt demons and all, is it cool if we it's you're gonna love it. Okay, I promise. It's gonna be great. But could we please, if you don't mind, dude? Oh, we got the green light. Let's do it. All right, come on, guys. We got it. We got one. We got about to go into.
And I know that sounds mean, but it's
But people are hungry for it.
yeah,
What?
reading their Bible and realizing that their local church pastor cut out 95% of it. And I know that sounds mean, but it's the
People are hungry.
95%. What is wrong with your mic, dude? I mean, well, not this mic. I'm saying like his microphone. Like, what is going on? It was like echoing a second ago. Now it's just off. It's like, and this guy's got like millions of subscribers. Maybe not millions, but he's way up there.
yeah. Oh, let's talk. You know what it is? Let's talk about marriage. Let's talk about
What's up, John? How we doing, man?
this. And they became almost like self-help gurus minus the supernatural. And then when I was just like, well, what if we just actually teach the scriptures, no matter how awkward it gets, it produced a lot of fruit.
You made the comment about the handkerchief, and I think what's interesting about that handkerchief story, where it's like almost as if
Hey, Alex, what's going on, man? He said Mike Signorelli and Isaiah Saldivar are the only two to buy their subs, then throw a 1 million sub party. That is so funny. It's like, let's celebrate what we just paid for and got ourselves with our own money.
the anointing, which I have theories that the anointing of God
Let's celebrate our privilege.
is like actual substance, like it's substantive.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, that's why we lay on of hands, not because it's a symbolic gesture, but it's the way that substance of God can actually move from one vessel to another vessel. But
It's not symbolic, it's substantive. Okay, so just so you know, I love it when Christians like say stuff that's just nothing, but then they say it like it's not nothing. Like, isn't that deep? That is exactly. I know, right? I just thought the Holy Spirit gave that to me just now. Deep, right?
it makes me think about YouTube ministry in general. And my question to you is like, you're preaching online, you're doing a lot online. Do you have testimonies of like deliverance or healing happening through YouTube preaching?
Yeah. Well, James chapter 5 is what you were referencing. You know, if there's any sick among you, bring them to the elders, have them anoint.
I'm sure there's some pirate demons. Yeah. You know, probably. Sure. Yeah. I mean, you know, there's all sorts of, they come in a lot of different themes: equestrian, pirate, sexy witch. I'm just describing a Halloween party at this point.
Anoint them with oil and lay hands on them. That's James chapter 5.
Right.
So what was normal in the local church 2,000 years ago is like, hey, I'm sick. I'm going to go and I'm going to have elders of the church actually take oil and put it on me and pray for me to be healed. Now, again, that doesn't mean that everybody was healed. Of course, people still died.
But that substance is that substance from God sticky? Probably. I'm willing to bet all of the substance that he's, you know, put in us that comes out of us is sticky. So it's, you know, I'd be willing to bet
that was a regular occurrence. So there would be an expectation for healing. So it'd be, that expectation would be so great that was their normal practice. So,
well, of course, with lube. I mean, come on. Well, you know, we're not trying to hurt anybody.
My thing is, again, we should normalize that. Right? It should just be like, hey, of course I'll pray for you. Now the results are on God, not on me. That's why I don't feel any pressure. I'll pray for anybody because it's like God, the results are on God. God gets the glory. God gets the credit.
But not, I thought he was going to say the blame, because he's like, if nothing happens, it's not my fault. It's God's fault. And then he's like, because God gets all the credit. He gets all the praise. What about when it doesn't happen? Blame? No, he doesn't get any of that. That's the doctor. The doctor gets the blame. God gets the credit. That's how that goes.
And so when I got to YouTube, I didn't come to YouTube as a YouTuber. I came to YouTube as a guy who was physically praying for people since the late 90s.
What? I didn't come to YouTube as a YouTuber. How could you come to YouTube as a YouTuber? Like, you'd have to be on YouTube. Like, the one thing that makes a YouTuber is that they're on YouTube. So how could you come to YouTube? Never mind. God damn it, I'm fucking stupid.
And so I just started praying through the screen, and one of the most dramatic stories, and I hope this builds people's faith, because as somebody who went through an atheist phase, I
Can you
believe
finish a fucking thought, man? You're like sidestepping all over the place.
in medical verification.
Sound worse than me. Jesus.
As a matter of fact, Luke was a physician, you know, and I don't even think that they gave up the medicinal aspects, because, you know, even Paul tells Timothy, hey, if your stomach's upset, drink a little wine to settle your stomach,
which we all know works. Yeah, that's my first thought. I'm like, man, my stomach is bothering me. Does anybody have any wine? Is anybody, you know, some sangria? You got some sangria? You know? No, that's what the. That's called making it worse. Okay, holy shit.
Was medicinal use. So I think a lot of ignorant Christians, and it's like either or, but I think biblical Christianity is both and. Like, yeah, we believe in the wisdom of doctors and we believe in the power of prayer. It's a both and. And so for me, I would say these things on
Mike 3-1 is scrotum oil, ass sweat, and an armpit sweat. I thought you were going to say armpit juice, because that's you know, can't have sweat twice in there. It's good.
Line. So I would say I'm going to pray for you, but I encourage you to go to your doctor to get the verification of what I believe could happen right now. And one of the first stories that happened
was sick now. I'm sorry. We all have to stop.
Happened, and it was in our Queens office. Is I'm online. I had thousands of people on, and
exactly. So like prudes. There you go.
I was just like, hey, I do believe though in medically verifiable miracles, and I know this makes me sound crazy, and I know that, you know, you like people could listen to this and think, oh, this is one of those televangelist nut jobs. I'm like, but let's do this. I'm gonna.
It's so weird that he could just say, look at him just saying this stuff. Oh, he's one of them televangelist idiot nut job crazy people that everybody knows about. No, I'm not one of those. I am slightly different than that.
Pray, and you go to your doctor and get a confirmation. In that one stream, two things happen. Number one, there is a woman on staff at a Baptist church who had crippling MS. And, you know, as you know, MS is, there's no cure. There's treatments to alleviate symptoms, but there's no cure. Immediately she feels mental clarity, pain subside from her body. I mean, she
and the doctor was like, woo,
felt like she was healed. Now I don't, of course.
Oh, that was good. Good stock footage there, you know
this is happening because I'm just looking into a camera. So I tell everybody, hey, here's my website, write my website, blah, blah, blah.
It's like, I didn't even know this happened, because I can't know what happens on the other side of the camera, because there's, you know, I'm not there, right? Here's how cameras work. You're not where everybody is that's watching. Yeah, I know it's confusing, but
so that woman who worked at a Baptist church on staff, she goes to the doctor, and they actually go through 3 rounds of verification, because you can't tell somebody you don't have lesions in your brain. It could be very harmful,
right?
Like medical malpractice.
Yeah, exactly. Placebo or misdiagnosed, not miracles. And you know, there's a third option there. Just lies. They just lie. It's like, I love how much credit you're giving. No, it's really nice of you to assume they're not just fucking liars. But no, I mean, but that is true. There are people that literally have believed that they were cured because of things like misdiagnosis and shit like that, and placebo effect, like where they, well, almost like that one guy that he had like IBS or something, like irritable bowel syndrome or something like that. And but it was like some other slightly different thing, and it's said to like it's incurable, but the symptoms go away on their own. And he thought that he prayed, you know, for his IBS to go away, and then it did, and that was God. Even though if you look up on Google, it says like the symptoms go away on their own a lot of the time.
Just to say, yeah, you just don't have MS anymore. So they're taking her through rounds of confirmation. I don't, meanwhile, this is taking months. I don't even know this is happening. I've never met the woman.
If that clip stirred you up and you think, you know what, I need to know what it means to get right with God, make peace with him, and ensure that I spend eternity in heaven with him and of all God's people.
No, that's a good point, JT. So I think if you drink enough wine, you could take your mind off of the upset stomach. It could take your mind off most things, actually. It could take it off consciousness, actually. You know, if you drink enough wine, it could take your mind off of the
people. I want you to go watch this video at the end of this one. And if you want to watch the full
Okay.
episode with Mike Signorelli,
we got to do what he says, guys. We got to do
something's not right with the world. You feel it. I feel it.
I feel it, dude. I feel it.
And every day the headlines scream wars, inflation, division, violence, corruption. It's not just happening in politics or the economy either. It's everywhere. Business, entertainment, even the church.
What was the demon? Don't skip over the demon. Come on, man. What the hell?
Division, violence, corruption. It's not just happening in politics or the economy either. It's everywhere. Business, entertainment, even the
damn it wouldn't. Look how fast that shit went.
Church. It's like
Come on.
everything is unraveling right before our eyes. And now, more than ever, people are asking the question, is this the end of the world? But maybe the more important question is this.
Jesus did drink wine. Yes, Drusilla. Yeah.
Are you ready for what?
Wait, are we talking about butt demons? I'm pretty sure they drink wine too. Actually, you know what? Take it back. They're probably Scotch. Folks.
What's coming next? Because what if all of this chaos we're seeing isn't random? What if it's actually a warning sign?
People just throwing stuff, confetti. That was just confetti falling.
Not to make you panic, but to prepare you. What if God is allowing the shaking of the entire world to wake you up to the reality that Jesus Christ is coming back?
Let me see that sword tongue. Let me see that sword tongue. You got the fiery crown. You got the fiery eyes. You don't have the bronze skin, which I mean, I guess I kind of understand why you wouldn't have the bronze skin, but no sword tongue. I want to see the sword tongue, man. Come on.
You
Cap Chatfield.
See, over 2,000 years ago, Jesus actually predicted the exact kinds of things that we're seeing today. In Matthew chapter 24, he described a time marked
My butt demon only drinks Everclear.
by wars and rumors of wars.
Oh man, God, it's so funny.
Jesus actually predicted the exact kinds of things that
Jesus actually predicted the exact kind of things that we're seeing right now. Wars and people saying that there might be a war at some point, somewhere.
we're seeing today. In Matthew chapter 24, he described a time marked by wars and rumors of wars, nation rising up against nation, famines, plagues, earthquakes, and
Talk about something that's happened since the beginning of fucking time, man. Holy shit. As long as humans have existed in societal form or whatever, you had wars and definitely rumors of wars.
widespread lawlessness. He said that in those days, people's hearts would grow cold and
The crime has literally gone down. We're at something like a 30-year low as far as crime rates go, which is hilarious. And that's why it's funny that Trump is like sending these military forces to DC because of that out of control crime. And usually they go, but there's shoplifters there. And that's what that is. Because it's like I said, we're at a 30-year low in the crime rate, and it was actually 33% lower than it was last year. Yet he's like, it's out of control. It's out of control. I gotta send some military to DC. Jesus Christ.
the love of many would disappear. Does that sound familiar? That people would betray each other, that false messiahs and false prophets.
Another thing nobody's ever done. According to your beliefs, dude, wasn't the first two brothers in existence? Didn't they do that?
Prophets would deceive many. He even said that those who stand for truth would be hated by the world. And then
He said, oh, Jesus predicted? Huh? No, he's God. He knew Jesus was guessing. He's like, my money's on wars, probably. You know, that makes sense. There'll probably be some wars at the end there. Or at least people, saying that wars might break out at some point.
And in 2 Timothy chapter 3, the apostle Paul echoed the same exact thing. He wrote that in the last days, people would be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, proud, disobedient to parents, ungrateful.
I don't know why I love that one so much. They're just they're like, oh, people would love money and they love themselves. They just love evil. And the kids don't listen to their parents. They don't even, they don't even clean their rooms. That's right. They just like say, oh, and whatever and stuff like that to their parents, man. Can you in the end times when everything gets so bad, kids will be like, oh, to their parents.
Grateful, unholy, without self-control, brutal, and lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. I mean, take a look. Does this not communicate exactly what we're seeing happen? And
what we've seen happen since people began to exist in
the world today. And when you look around, it's clear we are living in that kind of world. The 7 mountains of influence, media, government.
And the first dude got killed over vegetables. That's right.
Education, entertainment, religion, business, and family are being shaken to the core. Truth has been traded for lies. Darkness is being called light, and people are more anxious, angry, and confused than ever before.
You're a pretty good example of the confusion.
But here's the thing. What's wrong with the world isn't just out there. My friend, it's inside all of us. The real
it's your world within.
Issue isn't just bad politics or bad policies. The real issue,
bad politics or policies,
is sin. Sin is what separates us from God. And the truth is, we've all sinned. Nobody is innocent. You might be a good person by the world's standards, but that's not what saves you. Even our best effort.
So being a good person doesn't matter at all. It's just whatever. He's like, yeah, you can be a good person and you can be a really bad person. It actually doesn't matter at all because we're all just bad people. And if you just say that all people are bad people, then good and bad don't really exist at all, do they?
Efforts fall short of God's holiness. And deep down, you probably know that. That's why no amount of success, money, relationships, or pleasure,
definitely don't know it deep down on the surface, wherever,
ever really satisfies, because we were created for one purpose: to know God. And sin,
yes, it is. Yes, it is on the inside. It's a lack of critical thinking. That's right.
Broke that relationship. My friend, that is precisely why Jesus came. Not to just give us moral teachings or spiritual.
What demons said, let us get inside you and clean that bad world out of you.
Inspiration or a bunch of.
That's our world. That's what we live.
Rules to follow, but to save us, to save you, to save me from sin and death.
Oh, from sin and death. I'm good. The death thing's coming. Whether you convince me that I think I'm being saved from it or not. And sin's not even a thing at all.
He lived a perfect, sinless life. And then he willingly took your place and mine on the cross. He bore the punishment.
Listen how insane this is. Like I love it because this is like his little presenting a gospel to you thing, right? And it's funny because like we've all heard this so many times, but if you actually listen to what they're saying and what they're trying to convince people of, and you got to keep in mind that they're like thinking that there might be somebody out there that is hearing this for the very first time. They've never even heard the concept of, somebody being blood, this blood magic, sacrifice on a cross thing to pay for the masturbation you did. They've never even thought of that. But like he just says it like it's so normal, and it's just hilarious to me.
that we deserve 2,000 years ago when he laid down his life.
We deserve to be tortured for all eternity, even if you're a good person by the world's standards, which is just being a good person. If the whole world thinks you're a good person, you're a good person. Okay. And it's really weird that that person could go be tortured for all eternity just because they're not convinced of the blood magic thing.
For you and for me. The Bible says this: the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life in Christ.
Hey, Greg, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Jesus, our Lord. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, did not come from heaven down to planet Earth to condemn you. He came to rescue you. And
isn't he also the being that does the condemning, though? Like, he is God, right? Jesus is God. Okay, well, then he condemns the people that need the forgiveness. And that's why they need the forgiveness in the first place, right? Because they've been condemned by God for the evil sin of being born, just being born into existence, just automatically evil, you know? And you know why? Well, that's because a woman made of a rib was convinced by a talking snake to eat a magical fruit. And that's why, you know, God had to sacrifice himself to himself in order to convince himself to save the world from himself. But it all makes really good sense. Seriously.
days after his death, here's the best news: he rose from the grave.
Wow, he did. Well, that just makes this story not ridiculous.
His
Did he fly away into the clouds after? Because that would be even more unbelievable. But
resurrection wasn't just symbolic, it was a declaration that sin had
not
been.
According to Carrier, he says that it all was symbolic. In fact, he said that nobody even saw Jesus come back to life. The only people that saw Jesus come back to life saw a vision in their minds, and then went and told people, just like Paul. Remember Paul? Paul just saw a vision, and he said to everybody, that's all it saw it. Yeah, it was that book, Jesus from Outer Space. It's a pretty good book.
Paid for in full, that death had been defeated, and that he is the only way to the Father and to be saved. And here's the part that religion often gets wrong: you don't earn salvation. You can't work your way to God. You don't clean yourself up first and then come to him. You come broken, and he makes you new. The Bible says in Ephesians.
Greg said, original sin isn't exclusive to theism unless it was grown in a lab. Every child ever is guilty of violating a woman's bodily autonomy without her consent. So there is no such thing as an innocent child. Wow. Okay. It's just making war with babies. You're just like, you know who sucks? Fucking babies. You know, they show up in people's bodies just uninvited. You know, just what the fuck is it? That's awful. They're evil. I hate babies. My point here. Okay. I just think that
2 verses 8 through 9, for it is by grace that you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works. Why? So that no one can boast. That means
so that no one can boast, man. You don't want some dude boasting about how much better he is at being better at being good.
is no matter what you've done, God's grace is enough to cover it.
Yeah, because it's, again, behavior doesn't even matter. Just say you're sorry to the wizard, and even if you did a bunch of heinous, disgusting stuff, it's all wiped away. But if the person that's never done any heinous stuff just isn't convinced in the undead carpenter thing that had to come because the woman made of a rib being convinced by a talking snake in a book with another talking donkey, that person goes to hell for all eternity. So, you know, because they're evil according to the God that's standard for right and wrong is completely insane.
No matter how many good things you've tried to do, your righteousness will never be enough to earn heaven. Salvation isn't about what you do. It's about what Jesus already did. But here's the urgent part. Jesus is coming back.
He is. I've never heard this before.
And when he does, he won't be coming as a baby in a manger.
Nope. He'll be coming with the sword tongue, just Joker in his face all over the place. Maybe even cutting him up till he looks like a Two-Faced Joker face. You know what I'm saying?
He'll return as a king and a judge. And on that day, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess.
Needs to bow. First of all, they bend, but that would just everybody's legs just break. Every knee it like just bows, just like bends the opposite way. Anyway, but I love that verse so much. Where there's like, yeah, you'll see, everyone's gonna worship my God at some point. You'll see, you'll all see. Okay, let's write that down. Can we write that down? Let's get a Bible verse for that. Yeah, can we just say to one day everybody's gonna worship? Write that down.
That Jesus Christ is Lord. The question is, will you bow now by choice or later when it's too late? Let me ask
my knee or me. Which one's supposed to do the bound?
Ask you this: if your life ended tonight, are you 100% certain that you would be right with God?
Jesus couldn't.
You don't have to.
Jesus couldn't even save himself. I can't even save myself. Remember that song? I can't think of it. It was in a lot of movies from like the early 2000s. Probably, a lot of teenage movies, probably, where they have a lot of parts in the middle and the hair goes down to like.
To live in fear. You don't have to guess. You can be forgiven today. You can be set free. You can have peace.
Set free from what? The fear that I'm causing right now by saying you're going to be tortured for all eternity if you don't get saved. Like, so you're causing the thing that I'm getting saved from. So your God, if he existed, he doesn't. But if he did, he's causing the thing that I need to be saved from. So I'm being saved by and from your God. You don't think that's fucking weird?
With God right now, not because of what you've done, but because of what Jesus has done for you. And all it takes is one step: surrender. So as you're looking at everything,
all it takes is one step: everlasting slavery, where you give up your entire life and surrender yourself to him. And you surrender to him by allowing me to tell you what you need to be doing, because I actually know him better than you do. And so you're going to be better off just listening, just getting like what God wants you to do through me. Okay. And
going on in the world and everything looks like it's falling apart. Let me tell you this, according to what Jesus said,
baby could,
it's actually falling into place. For what purpose? All of these signs are meant to point to one person, and it's him. It's meant to be an alarm clock.
All right, y'all. I gotta wrap it up. And if you want to wrap up another person with your body, go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley. Save yourself a trip to that sticky store and have your adult toys sent direct. Okay. The packaging is discreet. It comes quickly, and so can you. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter that code word Brentley. Also, if you want to hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, buy some toys. They got everything from lubes and sexy lingerie to the stuff I can't mention because I'll probably get demonetized, but it's good stuff. It's good. It's good stuff that would demonetize my channel if I described it. But if you want to support this show, you can support us by supporting adamandeve.com and entering that code word Brentley at checkout, or you can do a bunch of other shit. You can become a patron at patreon.com/punk apostate. It's just a great way to support the show. Plus, you get access to like a back catalog of all my old stuff, and I do put stuff up there every so often. But if you want to just do a one-time thing and you just want to support the show, I really appreciate it. You could do just a one-time payment on Cash App, and that way you don't have anything coming out of your account willy-nilly. Totally understand not wanting that. But if you do want a bunch of extra perks and everything like that, as far as the YouTube channel goes, become a member. Because if you become a member, you get access to every live stream, which a lot of these live streams, they switch to members only after they're done being live. So you might not have access to all of them. But if you're a member, you get access to every single one, full stop. Plus, You get access to live streams that are just for members, that are made directly for them. They also get videos that are made just for them, pre-recorded videos. They also get video or the videos that are made for everybody, the pre-recorded ones, early. So you get a lot of good stuff if you become a member. But yeah, so you should do it, right? But you can also email me at punkapostate@gmail.com. Let me know if I got anything wrong or if I offended you. I actually do want to know if I offended you, but you know. But yeah, also you can let me know your deconstruction story. I like hearing stuff like that, you know. But and anything else you might want to tell me. But you could also hang out in our Discord. Right? Our Discord is in, you know, the links are below, and we have all sorts of stuff there. We're going to have, you know, I take suggestions from there, and we're actually going to be covering some stuff that was suggested coming up, I think tomorrow. But yeah, it's going to be cool. Anyway, also follow me on all the socials. All the links are below. But hey, you know, the main thing is to stay logical, loving, skeptical, and compassionate. And we will see you next time. What's going on? Why isn't? Oh my God! Really? You're doing the Kevin? Oh, you're doing the lame one again? This sounds like I'm at a disco. What even is this shit, dude? Oh my God! This is ridiculous. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for you. No, it's not embarrassing for me. You're embarrassing me right now. God damn it, Kevin.